Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, December 19th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We're in the college football playoff first round game, the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Oklahoma Sooners. Kickoff will be here in just a few minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some college football. Happy Friday, everyone. And we got the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide led by Ty Simpson. And on the right, the Oklahoma Sooners. They are led by John Mateer. Can't wait to be able to see this matchup between number 9 and number 8. Alabama Crimson Tide 10-3, Oklahoma 10-2. Obviously, Oklahoma with home field advantage. And again, we will see how this plays out. I'm hoping that it ends up being, a little bit closer than maybe what some people are anticipating. Right now, on the Vegas line, it's pretty close. And again, on the matchup predictor, 50-50. So it can go either way. But again, I'm definitely excited to see where this is going to play out. And let me get settled in with a few of my other screens here, and we will get going. B-Man in the building, what's good? Not JT in the building, what's good? Andrea in the building, what's good? And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Marine Bean in the building, what's good? Just getting all my equipment situated here. I think I got most of my screens and everything set up. The thumbnail took a hell of a lot longer than expected, just because I don't have a whole lot of, Alabama or Oklahoma stuff, sitting there in the bucket. So I had to kind of, come up with everything on my own, and, definitely had to go to some extreme lengths, from, not only, just social media, but Instagram and some of the players' Instagram to try to find a particular photo that I could format to be able to make the thumbnail. I almost got to a point for Oklahoma. It was getting really close to not being able to make this for, in time for kickoff. But thankfully, I got everything formatted in time, and we're getting ready here for number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide 10-3 versus number 8 Oklahoma Sooners 10-2. You would assume Oklahoma will get the job done and win at home. Alabama, obviously, with 3 losses. You probably should have had Notre Dame make it in instead of them. They only scored 7 points against Georgia in the SEC championship game. But I do believe that Alabama will score more than 7 today. And depending on how fast they start, they will have a chance to upset Oklahoma in their house. I think at this point, I think Oklahoma is more deserving, and I think I would rather see, John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners advance. Not to say that Alabama, isn't a decent team, but you normally don't see a whole lot of teams with 3 losses in the college football playoff. And Ty Simpson has had a great season for Alabama at quarterback. 26 touchdowns, 5 picks. Mateer, obviously 12 touchdowns, 10 picks, not really the same type of quarterback. But again, this one could definitely go either way. And I guess if I had to side with one team or another, I think I'd be rooting for Oklahoma in this particular matchup. Captain in the building, what's good? And we got player intros now. So anytime they end up saying, hey, the kickoff is going to be at 5, sometimes it ends up being 5:15, 5:20, after they get the players, with the intros and obviously any of the other, pregame, kind of celebrations and whatnot that they want to be able to do an introduction. So. Fernando Mendoza became the 3rd Latino to win the Heisman Trophy. Who are the other 2? Well, I know Jim Plunkett is the first, and I did see a random, obviously when they were talking about Fernando Mendoza and obviously the Latino heritage, again, the other one, no one would ever get it unless it was actually mentioned on TV. A few days back during the Heisman, ceremony. And so you have Jim Plunkett as the first, and the second, no one on planet Earth would ever get it unless you were watching the Heisman program. It's Bryce Young, right? He's got, Latino heritage, but no one would ever suspect that. And then obviously Fernando Mendoza is number 3. So again, that definitely is a trick question because no one would ever assume that Bryce Young has Latino ancestry through his grandfather, I believe. And again, Jim Plunkett, if you're old enough and you remember, but again, if you're not over 40 or 50, you wouldn't even get that question either. So again, I'm in the wheelhouse there. So, but again, as you know, no one else would end up getting that, but a great trivia question there from V-Man. Yeah, great win for the Seahawks. One of the best Thursday night games ever. And it's the first time a team, has ended up converting on 3 2-point conversions in the fourth quarter and beyond, and actually converting all 3 and winning. So Seattle, making their own destiny. I still think the Rams are a very, very good team, to be able to throw for, 300-400 yards with Stafford, Puka with 2 touchdowns and 200 plus yards, no turnovers, and they still lost. And again, it's going to definitely ramp up the rivalry in the NFC West, which used to be the Niners and the Seahawks. And now it's going to be the Seahawks, Niners, Seahawks, and Rams. And I'm all here for it. It's going to be very exciting to be able to see what happens, not only in the NFC, but the AFC. And I'm very excited to be able to see what we're going to get in the college football playoff in the first round games. And we're kicking it off here with number 9 Alabama and number 8 Oklahoma. Let's go, baby. Yeah, and Alabama hasn't beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma yet. You are correct. This is a pretty even matchup, though. It's 50-50. And again, I feel like Oklahoma, is probably going to be a better second half team, to make adjustments. But if Alabama can score early and often and take like a 14-0 lead or, a 10-0 lead, that could end up giving them up enough momentum possibly, to hang on. But it's definitely going to be exciting to be able to hear this crowd rooting for John Mateer. All right, Mateer on the first play, scrambling, gambling, avoids one tackler and not the second. And all of that for no yards. Second down and 10 at the Oklahoma 25. Ty Simpson is a better quarterback, obviously, for Alabama, something to keep an eye on, but Mateer is good enough to be able to construct and make enough, big plays to make it happen. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. No huddle on that shotgun set, and Torrey Blaylock, 4-yard run up the middle. Justin Jefferson, and not the one that hits the gritty there on Sundays. Linebacker Justin Jefferson for Alabama with the tackle. 3rd down and 6 at the OU 29. Shotgun set on 3rd down and 6. Mateer, sidearm throw towards the sideline. Wow. 1st down, Sooners. Move the chains. Deion Burks with that fantastic catch towards the sideline from John Mateer. 1st down and 10 at the OU 43. To be honest, with these two teams, I've watched a few games of each, but I haven't watched enough, week in and week out to be able to give you a clear answer. So, normally in the past, at least, Alabama has traditionally had a better defense, but normally that was under Saban, right? And Oklahoma's defense usually is non-existent for the most part, with Baker and Kyler and some of those past teams. But, we will wait and see how it all plays out here. 6-yard run there by Torrey Blaylock. 2nd down and 4 at the OU 49. And that goes to hot shotgun set on a hot one. Mateer rushing left for 2 yards. 3rd down and 2 at the Alabama 49. Jolly with a $5. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks. Rex with the little Cactus Jack. We're at 5. 95 to go to hit our goal on the dono train. Appreciate you. Daniel in the building. What's good? But I'll look up to see what some of the ranks are here during the commercial break. And Mateer right up the middle, slithering his way to a 1st down. 1st down, Sooners. Move the chains. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer, incomplete short right to Deion Burks, who's going to be one of his favorite targets here today. 2nd down and 10 at the Alabama 44. Jolly with another $5. Thank you so much for your support. Stacks, Rax with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 10 on the dono train. 90 to go. Shout out to all of your support to the channel. I appreciate it very, very much. All right, so I'm going to be going over some of the statistics, category by category for both defenses for not only captain, but for the rest in the stream in a moment. And 2nd and 10, Torrey Blaylock runs into a wall of Alabama Crimson Tide, landed by London Simmons, the D lineman, charging and leading the way, number 90. 3rd down and 10 at the Alabama 44. And I'm so excited that we're finally in the college football playoff. It seems like it's been an eternity since, the Big Ten championship, the SEC championship, and all of the rest. And now we're finally, playing in these particular bowls in the college football playoff that matter the most. And again, we will be doing Oregon and JMU tomorrow at 4:30 Pacific. And a little check down throw there on 3rd down and 10. Good pressure by Bama and incomplete. 4th down and 10. But key national rankings for the Sooners in 2025, scoring defense 6, total defense 7 to the 11 range for a majority of the season. Stop rate 6 to 7 nationally. Team sacks 1, team tackles for loss 1, rushing yards allowed 3. And again, it says they were effective in forcing opponents in punts and turnovers, but again, not exactly as consistent maybe as you would like game in and game out. And then we'll see what they say about Alabama here in a moment. All right, so total defense, number 12th nationally, 283.3 yards allowed per game. Pass defense, 7th. Scoring defense, 13th. So it looks like, looking at the overall numbers, it looks like Oklahoma might be slightly better, but both have been pretty good overall. But it depends on the matchups, on who they're playing week in and week out. And we know that Oklahoma and Alabama have had some gimmies, throughout the year, just like every team does. When you end up playing, some random, team that has no business being on the schedule. But again, based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like maybe Oklahoma slightly. Sixth nationally in scoring defense, rush defense ranked 3rd nationally, stop rate at 7, allowing only 81.4 rushing yards per game there for Oklahoma. So as I'm looking at the numbers, you're getting a lot of top 10 with Oklahoma, and then you're getting 11 through 20 for Alabama, with obviously no Nick Saban leading the way with DeBoer. So at this particular point, still pretty similar, but a little bit of an edge to Oklahoma, and they're at home, so you got to give them a little bit of the nod there. Megan in the building, what's good? Yeah, fantastic game. Arguably one of the best Seahawk games ever in their history. Appreciate you very, very much. Stacks, Rex with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. $10 holla with that fantastic Seattle Seahawk win. And again, that's the first time that a team has ended up converting on 3 2-point conversions. One of the first times out of 173 games to be able to win when you're down by 15 or more in the fourth quarter. And again, to be down 30-14 and then catch up to 30-30 and then end up winning the game 38-37. It was incredible. And again, one of the most exciting games that we have had, not just on prime time, but, game of the year. And again, we knew that, they wanted revenge and payback. The Hawks have only lost, 3 games, by 4 to the Niners in week 1, week 5 against the Buccaneers by 3, and then the Rams in week 11 by 2. So they finally get a little bit of payback, and congratulations to all the 12s and the Hawk fans. Shotgun set, and then Daniel Hill up the middle there for a yard. And then our Mason Thomas, the D lineman there for OU with the tackle. 2nd down and 9 at the Alabama 13. Congratulations to all the 12s. It was an exciting time last night. There's no doubt about that. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to Jolly and Megan for holding it down on the dono train. And Ty Simpson, little rush there with the snap. And a little screen there for minimal gain. Third down. Ty Simpson to Isaiah Horton. 4-yard gain. Third down and manageable. Third down and 5 at the Alabama 17. Simpson on third down and 5 towards the marker to Isaiah Horton, but it comes out. Great defense there by OU in Oklahoma. Broken up by Guillory, and that's going to be 4th down and 5 at the Alabama 17. Yeah, I have watched the first episode of Fallout in the second season. I think you'll like it. It gets a little slow in moments in the show, kind of the build-up and whatnot as they're going into, Vegas and whatnot. But I think that you'll absolutely love it. And again, I can't wait for you to get caught up. And Alabama, the little pooch punt there. And that only goes 42 yards by Blake Dodd. And it'll be 1st down and 10 at the OU 41 as we come back from the commercial break. Yeah, and it's the first time I think what we've seen a 2-point conversion where it's such a close borderline play for that screen that said that was a lateral, bounces off a helmet or a player, and then ends up being picked up nonchalantly, by Charbonneau in the end zone. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-point conversion like that, and I've been watching football since the mid-'80s, and again, sometimes it pays to be a little bit lucky. And the momentum was in the Hawk favor. And obviously the Rams are one of the first teams to, have a quarterback throw for, 300-400 yards, right? To have a wide receiver in Puka with over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 turnovers for the Rams. And the Seahawks had 3, and you still found a way to win the game. And that's, what you call a gritty, type of team that even when they're making mistakes, they didn't have points scored on every mistake. If you remember on the Cooper Kupp fumble, it was at the end of the half and no points were scored by the Rams off of that. But obviously with the other 2 turnovers, that may be another story, but a lot of heart, a lot of grit. And it's going to be very, very exciting to be able to see, how it plays out with Seattle and with the Rams and with the Niners and the Bears and the Packers and the Lions and the Eagles and then the Buccaneers or the Panthers. And then on the AFC side, obviously, as we know, you got the Broncos, you got the Bills with Josh Allen, right? You got the Patriots with Drake May. Then you got the second-tier teams with the Texans, the Jags, and the Chargers. And then somebody's got to win it between the Steelers and the Ravens. So, again, we know that the AFC North and the NFC South are the 2 worst divisions. But at this point, it kind of feels like it possibly could be the Steelers and Buccaneers. But those 2 teams are going to have to earn it. And if they slip up any little bit, the Ravens and Panthers could pounce and take the spot, but it also depends on the schedule as we're getting to the, back end of December here, as we know. Judah in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. College football playoff, first round. Number 9, Alabama, 10-3. Number 8, Oklahoma, 10-2. And obviously, in this particular first round, if you are the home team, you are hosting a matchup. And again, Oregon will be hosting against JMU tomorrow. We will be watching a little bit of NFL as well. So looking forward to the Bears and Packers game, which I will be giving updates at the same time as when we watch Oregon and JMU. And I assume, Oregon will win that game. They might start off a little slow and make adjustments in the second half. The Texas Tech game at 9 a.m. the following weekend is going to be much more difficult because Oregon usually doesn't come out really that strong at 9 a.m. and most teams don't, playing that early in the morning. But we'll see how that matches up. And then if we can get past that, then it'll be Indiana for a chance to go to the Natty against either Georgia or Ohio State, more than likely. 2-yard gain there towards the sideline by Torrey Blaylock. Hale Green, the linebacker there from Bama, roll tide with the tackle. 2nd down and 8 at the Oklahoma 43. Which one are you talking about? Shotgun set. Mateer, plenty of time. Throws a rope right down the middle in between that zone. 1st down. Boomers, Sooners, move the chains. Beautiful throw by Mateer. And obviously we know Ty Simpson, if you're not really up to date with either of these teams or haven't watched any of the games throughout the year, Ty Simpson for Alabama is a much better quarterback than Mateer, but Mateer is gritty. And again, he's one of those guys, at one point or another, can make plays with his arm and his legs. So sometimes he'll have to make up for maybe the lack of, accuracy, from in the pocket to be able to bounce outside with the bootleg or to maybe even run for a 1st down or 2 or 3, in this matchup. Mateer in the pocket, floater, and just gets it past his wide receiver, incomplete. If he had a little bit more touch, that would have been a touchdown for the Sooners. Javani Gibson was wide open there on that play. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, in sports, they always talk about things, either being rigged and whatnot. And I feel like with UFC and boxing, those are going to be the things that are going to be the most rigged, out of sports, besides referees or players point shaving or, trying to, be on the under or the over, based on their stats. So, you don't really know exactly, how things are going to pan out. Mateer with a great run. 1st down, Sooners, move the chains. Because a guy could take a fall and then make 10 million and then have a rematch and then make 30, even though maybe they think that they can win the matchup. But, again, it really comes down to numbers and money and the venue. So, again, we will wait and see, how it pans out. Obviously a lot of people are not really big fans of Logan or Jake Paul, and, kind of root for those guys to lose based on their kind of actions and behavior on social media. But I think one thing is, safe to say, both are athletes. Logan can wrestle, and obviously we know Jake can box, but I assume a lot of people will be going against him tonight. 0-yard run there by Torrey Blaylock. Hasn't been able to find a hole here yet on that Alabama D-line. 2nd down and 10 at the Bama 25, but they're getting a little bit closer. But it just feels like every time people start rooting for the Pauls to lose, what do? They win. Whether it's for real or if it's, some type of rig situation or, Mateer, throw to the sideline, incomplete. Tries to avoid the sack lunch there. 3rd down and 10 at the Alabama 25. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. Again, we'll be doing a lot of college football and NFL, the rest of the way here in December. And again, I'm definitely all here for it. Third down and 10, shotgun set, Mateer. Little check down, no blockers in front, but he still finds a way. Goes towards the sideline, tiptoeing in my Jordans. He's riff-raffing all the way down the sideline. Xavier Robinson, 16-yard pass from John Mateer, and it's 1st and goal at the Alabama 9, and they are about to score. Let's go. Oklahoma will score on this drive. And again, missed opportunity by Alabama's defense there, and he didn't even have any blockers in front. And luckily, he was able to bounce it to the outside and, again, tiptoe on that sideline, and that first step was out of bounds. So 1st down and goal at the 8 or 9 yard line. Shotgun set for Mateer. And Mateer bounces it outside, looking like Tim Tebow. Touchdown, Sooners! And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast, that you're going to get him throwing, but he's just as good on the ground, better than Ty Simpson as a runner. And Mateer showing that, hey, I might not have as good of a quarterback to interception ratio as Ty Simpson on Alabama, but one thing I am better than you at is running on the ground. Good vision, good control, and good patience to wait for those blocks to get set up. Broken ankle or two out of a few Crimson Tide members there. Nice job by John Mateer, looking like Tim Tebow out there, rushing the football. Beautiful. Extra point is up. They got a nice, beautiful lefty kicker there, and it is good. Let's go. Tate Sandell, I see you. Nice job by Oklahoma. 7-0 Boomer Sooners. Oklahoma, and Alabama have had quite a few, amazing players in the last 5 to 10 years, come out to the NFL. But obviously, if you're a Kyler Murray fan or a Baker Mayfield fan or something of that nature, that, Oklahoma may not be as good as they were years back, but again, still, one of the, typical top, 15 college football teams. And number 8 scores a touchdown on number 9. And we'll see if Ty Simpson can get the job done for Alabama. And remember, Alabama only scored 7 points in the SEC championship game against Georgia. So we all assume that they will put up more than 7, but it's going to take, maybe some special plays on special teams or defense for Alabama to win this game on the road, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Fast start. And again, you knew points were going to be scored, and hopefully we get a game here today where we're in the 30s for Oklahoma, and hopefully Alabama, for pride, can get to at least 17 to 23. But again, we will find out, if Oklahoma's defense can kind of put the pressure on. But there definitely are going to be a few gaps, on the O-line and D-line for both teams to be able to, move the football and move the chains. But we will find out, if Mateer, being that dual threat with his arm and his legs, will end up being the deciding factor in the game. And I believe it probably will be. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it took me a lot longer to make this thumb, because again, I have to do it in layers. First you got to be able to find the college football playoff, logo. Then you got to get the team logos. Then I got to find, an amazing background. Then you got to be able to find the player images, and then you got to make sure they get formatted correctly. And again, I had to go to Ty Simpson's Instagram to be able to kind of format that one, because I tried doing it just on regular photos. And again, if you're not familiar with thumbnails and how they work, it's usually not an easy process. It's not that you just go to any photo, click on it, and then you can use that image. Sometimes, pieces of the helmet are missing, or sometimes an arm is missing, or it's kind of distorted. So again, there's certain ways where you can hide certain things by like zooming in on the image to kind of hide, maybe some of the, part where the arm is half missing or something of that nature. But again, it took me a little bit longer, to get it situated. But again, I think it turned out great. And again, I'm super excited for the college football playoff here in 2025. And we'll be doing Oklahoma, Alabama, obviously here. And then tomorrow will be JMU and Oregon. But we will keep up with the Bears and I believe the Packers tomorrow. And then the Eagles play the Commanders, I believe, at 2 o'clock Pacific, but we already know the Eagles are going to blow out the Commanders. That won't even be that close of a game, you would assume. But the Bears and the Packers should be really fun. And again, we will see if the Bears can pull off the upset. I'm definitely excited to see what Ben Johnson can do with Caleb going against Jordan Love. 13-yard return after that Tate Sandell kick. First down and 10 at the Alabama 14 for Ty Simpson. Yeah, Arch still needs a long ways to go. He was a little overrated, coming in. And a big sack lunch from Oklahoma. Let's go. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a Boomer Sooner sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Good old JR from WWF loves Oklahoma, and I know he's watching the game here today. Big sack there on the blind side. I see you, Lewis. Second down and 18 at the Alabama 6. And again, that slightly better defense of Oklahoma, obviously finding its way early with an impact in this game. Again, if Nick Saban was still coaching, Alabama, then we would assume their defense would be quite a bit better with more All-Americans. But, they definitely, still have a few good players, but they're not on the same type of level when they had Saban with DeBoer. Ty Simpson to Josh Cuevas, the tight end, 8-yard pass. Spears Jennings there with the tackle. Third down and 10 at the Alabama 14. Robert Spears Jennings, sideline to sideline, making plays. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Third down and 10 with about 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter in the college football playoff first round game between number 9 Alabama and number 8 Oklahoma. And the Sooners obviously are hosting this game, and a timeout on third down and 10 for Ty Simpson. Crowd making an impact there in Norman, Oklahoma at Memorial Stadium. Going to go to a quick commercial break. And if there's anything that you want to see photo-wise, Jolly or Megan, let me know. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. And if you're just tuning in, John Mateer runs for an 8-yard TD, broke a few ankles along the way, 7-0 Sooners. Go to the schedule of the games for tomorrow, just to give people an update if you aren't too familiar at the moment. All right, so we got Tulane and Ole Miss on tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific. Miami and A&M at 9 a.m. Pacific, so you have to wake up early if you want to watch A&M and Miami. Then Tulane and Ole Miss at 12:30, and then the late game will be James Madison at Oregon and Autzen at 4:30 Pacific, and that'll be the game that we stream on the channel tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we're going to end up doing the Patriots and the Ravens for Sunday Night Football. I mean, it's make or break for Lamar and the Ravens if they want to keep up with the Steelers, and we know how good Drake May and the Patriots have been. Going to be a very tough test. Travion Henderson looks like Rookie of the Year on offense, and again, the two-headed horse between him and Ramondre Stevenson has been great for Drake May. And again, I can't wait to be able to watch that one, and we'll do that on Sunday night. And then Monday will be an underrated matchup between the Colts and the Niners, and I think that that will actually be a pretty good game as well. 4 minutes left in the first quarter, 7-0 Oklahoma. Odin in the building. What's good, brother? How are you? Yeah, I think a majority of college football fans, even though Nick Saban is no longer causing terror for Alabama, I think all of those years of dominating college football, that fans, we don't really care, if Saban is there anymore. It's either you're for Alabama or you're against them. And I know sometimes that goes for, teams like Georgia, as well. But, again, some teams are going to be a little bit more hated than others, but sometimes it's a jealousy factor as well. For the longest time, it was, Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State. And if you weren't one of those three teams, you were shit out of luck. And then now recently we've seen Michigan and LSU and Clemson in the last 15 years, be able to, run for a title and make a name for themselves. But with over 100 division college football teams, only having 6 that actually have a chance to do anything big, is not really ideal. But it feels like it's getting a little bit more even with this new format. Throw to the sideline and incomplete. Ty Simpson there going to Latsier Brooks, incomplete. And good pressure there by Oklahoma off the edge, making Ty Simpson very uncomfortable in the pocket. 4th down and 10 at the Alabama 14. Yeah, let me know how SmackDown is going. Yeah, and now absolutely Notre Dame should have been in over Alabama. Alabama, again, is no longer coached by Saban. They have 3 losses. And again, that Oklahoma almost blocks the punt there. And it ends up being just a sky-high short punt. Oklahoma's got incredible field position, and it may only take a play or two, and it may end up being 14-0 here in a second. But I would have rather seen Notre Dame than Alabama, honestly, and they deserved it. But again, with the college football committee, not every individual that votes is actually watching all the games, based on the votes that they're giving out, which is a damn shame. There definitely is a West Coast bias, and there's also a bias against teams, like Notre Dame sometimes when they don't have a division to be linked to. And again, Alabama only put up 7 in the SEC championship game against Georgia, and they still put them in, so it shows you they think that Alabama is going to get ratings no matter what. And to a certain degree, they're right, but I think a majority of the country is rooting for Oklahoma. And Mateer, little check down there. Jaron Kennick, 2nd down and 2 at the Alabama 38. Taylor with the tackle there from Alabama. No huddle, shotgun set. Torrey Blaylock runs up the middle for a 3-yard gain. 1st down and 10 at the Alabama 35. Oklahoma looking pretty impressive. They know that they don't have maybe as good of a gunslinger as a Ty Simpson at quarterback. But again, the way that they play their offense, Mateer is great with his legs. And again, we saw that obviously on his first touchdown rush. He can juke individuals, and he actually has deceptively faster feet and speed than you would think. And it might not be the only touchdown Mateer has on the ground. It's very possible that he'll get another one before this game is over. 101 yards for Oklahoma to 5 for Alabama. Is that good? Shotgun set for Mateer. Hands it off. Ooh, Blaylock hurdling and getting flipped over. 6-yard run. Don't fumble that football, Torrey. 2nd down and 4 at the Alabama 29. Nikai Hill-Green, linebacker from Bama, with the tackle. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Sooners. Shotgun set, little flip, and Blaylock gets tackled by 5 Crimson Tide defenders. 2-yard run on the sideline there. 3rd down and 2 at the Alabama 27. Dejon Lee Jr., DB for Alabama, with the tackle. Flag on the play, and we'll see if this ends up being illegal motion, illegal shift, a hold, or something after the play was completed. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Wow. Oklahoma's head coach is losing his lid. I don't blame him. Just a late hit after the play was over. Very unnecessary there by 55. And now that goes to 3rd down and 18 after being in field goal range. 3rd and 18 at the Alabama 43 after one of the linemen lost his cool. Lots of chirping going on between both of these teams that don't like each other. Screen pass, and we obviously know Oklahoma and Texas used to be a part of the Big 12, but joined the SEC recently within the last few years. And obviously the rivalry between Georgia and Bama is always high, but now you have to include Oklahoma and Texas in those rivalries from time to time. 10-yard pass from Mateer to Segtegna. 4th down and 8 at the Alabama 33. Chiefs are moving. And Tate Sandell, 15 for 16 from 40 and beyond. So this would be a kick that is in his range. Kick is up, 51-yarder, and it is good. Beautiful kick there by the lefty. And there's just something special when you see a lefty kicker. You know, it's very rare, regardless if it's in the, NFL ranks or even in the college football ranks. Great job, making up after that unnecessary roughness and still being able to get points on the board. Oklahoma doing Oklahoma things. I love it. Boomer Sooners, 10-0 Oklahoma. Beautiful kick by Tate Sandell. 10-0 Sooners. 51 yards. Unbelievable. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Impressive start, from Oklahoma, the team that should be favored. Alabama probably shouldn't even be in the college football playoff with 3 losses, especially with teams like Notre Dame that got left out. But, even though they scored only 7 in the SEC championship against Georgia, the committee obviously is brainwashed by ratings, thinking that Alabama still has Nick Saban when they don't. They still have, some good players on offense and defense, but they're nowhere near being the same type of team when they had Saban. Hard to fill those shoes. And you're definitely not going to fill those shoes recruiting without Saban either. Still will get a few players, that have dreams of going to the NFL coming from Bama, but really not the same. Tate Sandell with the kick. 58 yards and fair caught there by Brooks. 1st down and 10 at the Alabama 25. We're at 20, 80 likes to go to hit 100. Let's get it, Odin. Let's get it, Captain. Shotgun set. Simpson, hands off, bounces it to the outside. And a decent game there for Alabama on 1st down. Jam Miller, 7-yard run. Boganowski there with the tackle. 2nd down and 3 at the Alabama 32. It's the nature of the biz, Odin. When you end up being a streamer, people think that, it's so easy to do what streamers do, which is clearly not. Not anybody can, call games on a high level. That's facts. 2nd down and 3. And getting tripped up there. And short of the marker, Guillory in there again with some action from the Sooners. And now that's going to turn into 3rd down and 3 at the Alabama 32. And that's going to be the end of the 1st quarter, 10-0 Oklahoma. A lot of it has to do with jealousy and whatnot too, but again, it's not like, any streamer that is at 10,000 subs or 20,000 or 30,000 or more. It's not like they got there overnight. It's a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears and consistency, to be able to get to big numbers. So, if you're not willing to put in the time and you obviously have to have talent, but you also have to, be consistent and you have to have that passion, to be able to keep going no matter what. End of the 1st quarter, 10-0 Sooners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And if you're just tuning in to the matchup, John Mateer runs for an 8-yard TD rush for the quarterback for OU, 7-0 Sooners. And then we had Sandell with a 51-yard field goal kick, which looked beautiful since he's a lefty. You don't see lefty kickers or lefty punters, for that matter, that often. And we have a nice 10-0 Sooner lead. No surprises there. But I'm looking forward to A&M in Miami at 9 a.m. I'll wake up early and watch that. Tulane and Ole Miss at 12:30. I'll probably tune into a little bit of that one. And then we'll do Oregon and James Madison at 4:30 Pacific on TNT and True TV. And then if they win that matchup, January 1st, Oregon and Texas Tech at 9 a.m. in the Orange Bowl. And then the winner would end up playing Oklahoma and Indiana in the Rose Bowl. So we will wait and see how it all plays out. But based on the bracket, it's going to be very, very, very exciting. And it definitely feels, and again, anyone that's watched college football, you can chime in, but it feels, like there's really only 4 teams that can win it all. At the top of the list, Indiana, Ohio State at the very, very top, and then Georgia and Oregon. It kind of feels like those are the 4 teams. And obviously, with Oregon, they might be the least likely out of the 4. Because again, we just have to be able to prove that we can, get there and whatnot. But we know that Georgia and Ohio State have the experience. Indiana does not. But, within the last 2 years with Cignetti, they've been fantastic. Couldn't beat Ohio State last year. They were able to beat them this year and win the Big Ten championship. And we'll see if Indiana can keep rolling. But I do like Oregon's chances to get payback, not only on Indiana, but also Ohio State from last year in the Rose Bowl and Georgia in the previous 3, 4, 5 years when we've matched up and lost. So, if we can find a way to get payback any way we possibly can, I'm here for it. 3rd down and 3. Throw to the sideline by Ty Simpson, incomplete. Wide receiver Isaiah Horton was the intended target. 4th down and 3 at the Alabama 32. Jolly with a 5er. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $5 holla on the Dono train. Appreciate you. You know what Alabama really needs? Right? If they could have one player in the NFL that was actually on their roster a few years ago, imagine if Bama and Ty Simpson had Jahmyr Gibbs. That could be the X factor to actually keep this game close. Having someone that can run and catch and be able to put up huge numbers. And obviously they don't really have that type of athlete on the offense this year. And Blake Dowd with the punt. 31 yards, 1st down and 10 at the OU 37. Shotgun set for John Mateer. Pass incomplete, short middle to Sategna the 3rd. Second down and 10 at the OU 37. Appreciate it. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. He actually ended up dropping a new one within the last few days, but I haven't got a chance to format it. So. What's good, man? Incredible game last night between the Hawks and the Rams, and anyone that did miss it on the stream here yesterday, hopefully you got a chance to watch it. It was incredible. The game of the year. And again, one of the best comebacks I've seen in sports in a long time. 3 2-point conversions. That's never been done before. 2-yard run there by Xavier Robinson. 3rd down and 8 at the OU 39. See if Bama ends up bringing a blitz here. 3 for 13 on third down versus Alabama November 15th. Today, they're already 3 for 5. So Mateer, obviously, they're locked in on what they want to do. And Mateer is a great runner, kind of like a Tim Tebow. He can throw, but he can also run. Not as good as Tim Tebow, of course, but again, has, a few jukes and moves and a pretty good upper and lower body for strength to bounce off guys. And let's see if Burks actually makes this catch with the toe drag swag. Wow! Look at the extension. Got to take a peek at this, but he's on the sideline and stretches out, but does he actually hang on to the football after the impact of the turf when he's out of bounds? So again, you got to look at the toe drag swag and then the completion of the play. I need to see a few more angles of that play there. Yeah, I'm streaming pretty much every Thursday, Monday, Sunday night game, regardless on who's playing, and then trying to do, as much of college football as we can until we get into Mariner season in February and March. But I'm glad you got a chance to watch it. What an amazing attempt here by Deion Burks from John Mateer. The foot looks like it actually hits and toe taps. I think that might be a catch. Again, we've seen some pretty spectacular catches, in college football and the NFL, as we always do every year, but to be able to be that wide with that type of extension, to be able to get a toe tap down, you only need 1 foot in college, 2 in the NFL, and then to be able to survive the impact and keeping your hand underneath that ball and not have it wiggle. Great job. First down and 10 at the Alabama 45, 16-yard pass from John Mateer to Deion Burks. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. And catch obviously reviewed as complete. Shotgun set on first down and 10. Mateer with the fake toss. Has a man wide open, middle of the field. Burks again. And he's wheeling and dealing. First down. Boomer. Sooners. Move the chains. And I don't think really what we were, a lot of people that were looking at that replay, it wasn't really the 1 foot. It was really the surviving the impact out of bounds, and you couldn't really fully see every angle. And they showed up 3 different angles there, and on that third one, it looked like it was good. Nice 18-yard pass from Mateer to Deion Burks. First down and 10, hand off to Xavier Robinson. He gets stuffed by Justin Jefferson, linebacker for Alabama, common name. No Gritty at this point, but we will see later in the matchup. Second down and 11 after that 1-yard loss by Xavier Robinson. Twelve minutes left in the second quarter, 10-0 Oklahoma. Second down and 11 at the Alabama 29, and we will see if John Mateer can punch in another touchdown. Mateer towards the sideline. And fighting for a few extra yards there after contact. 6-yard gain from Mateer to Deion Burks. He's been getting catches early and often here in the first half. Third down and 5 at the Alabama 23. Third down conversions, 4 for 6 for Oklahoma, 0 for 3 for Bama, which is kind of crazy because they have arguably the better quarterback in Ty Simpson. At one point, was a top 5 Heisman candidate, during the regular season in college football. But Mateer is looking a little bit more dominant here today at home. Third down and 5, sidearm throw, complete. First down, Sooners. And you can tell he's playing with all kinds of confidence with the fans. Obviously being from Norman, rooting him all the way to victory. Nice job there by the wide receiver Jacob Jordan with his first catch. First and goal at the Alabama 7 after that 16-yard pass from Mateer to Jordan. And at this point, run it with Mateer, and I don't think you'll be able to stop him. Nice two-way threat here for Oklahoma. Nice laser throw from Mateer. A little unconventional with his release, but whatever gets the job done, right? Shotgun set for Mateer. Oh, he's open. Touchdown, Sooners. Satania, the third touchdown, Oklahoma. And just like that, 16-0, which is going to be 17-0 in a moment. And hopefully Alabama, for all of the people that voted for this particular school over Notre Dame, shame on you. And hopefully Alabama can get at least 7 points or more, considering they only got 7 against Georgia in the SEC championship game. But they are outmatched, outgunned, and down 17-0. Don't think you're going to see a Seahawk comeback in this one for Alabama here today. Extra point is up and good. 17-0 Sooners. And I figured Oklahoma would be ahead at this point, but I did not anticipate it being 17-0. I assumed Alabama would have at least 3, at this point in the game. But, you got to give credit to Oklahoma's offense and defense, and especially their efficiency on third down. 10:51 left in the second quarter, 17-0 Boomer Sooners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Who's got a better chance of winning tomorrow? Tulane over Ole Miss or Miami over A&M? That's the real question. Maybe Miami over A&M. Maybe that might be the closer matchup of the two. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We got the Eagles and the Commanders at 2 o'clock tomorrow on Saturday. Packers and Bears. Bears at home against Green Bay. And that'll be at 5:20 Pacific. So we'll be doing updates on that while we do JMU and Oregon. And then on Sunday, we got the Bills and the Browns, Chargers and the Cowboys, Chiefs and Titans, Bengals and Dolphins, Jets and Saints, Battle of the Bads, Vikings and the Giants, Tampa Bay and Carolina. I'm going to be locked in for that one. Jacksonville and Denver, one of the best matchups of the weekend. If Jacksonville can win, that would be huge for them and Trevor Lawrence. Falcons and Cardinals, Steelers and Lions, Raiders and the Texans. And then we will be doing the Patriots and the Ravens on Sunday Night Football on stream, and then Niners and Colts on Monday night. So I definitely think the Sunday night, Monday night matchups are going to be pretty good, and again, the Ravens are kind of running out of time, to catch up to Pittsburgh. And again, same thing goes with Tampa and Carolina. We play each other 2 times in the last 3 weeks. And really who comes out on top in that is going to more than likely end up winning the division and making the playoffs this year. This SEC showdown is starting to be a mini blowout. Hopefully Alabama can get on the board. I don't necessarily need Alabama winning the game, but I don't want to see them at a 0 or at 7 like they were against Georgia in that SEC championship game. Because again, if you're only going to be putting up 7 points or less and you got 3 losses, what the hell are you doing in the college football playoff? Notre Dame was much more worthy. Notre Dame wouldn't be at 0 right now against Oklahoma, and it would still be as exciting, probably more exciting, actually. 181 yards for Oklahoma to Alabama's 12. That ain't going to get it done. Tate Sandell, 57-yard kickoff, and fair caught by Brooks. First down and 10 at the Alabama 25. .51 left in the second quarter, 17-0 Oklahoma. Oklahoma definitely looks like they belong in the college football playoff. There's no doubt about that. Only problem for them is they're going to have to play Indiana next, and that is going to be very, very tough. Shotgun set for Ty Simpson. Pressure coming, but he avoids a sack lunge, keeps his eyes down the field, but incomplete. And Ryan Williams, we know that he was a phenom from a few years ago when he was a freshman, but still not really having the same kind of impact that you would like game in and game out. Second down and 10 at the Alabama 25. Second down and 10. Man in motion. Shotgun set for Simpson. Play action. And a little check down there. And Brooks with the catch. Five-yard pass there from Simpson to Brooks. 3rd and 5 at the Alabama 30. See if Oklahoma brings the house here on defense. See if they bring a timely blitz. Man in motion. Shotgun set here for Ty Simpson. Trips left, 3 wide receiver set. Oklahoma bringing a delayed blitz. One-on-one. He's open. And nice catch there. First down. Bama, roll Tide. Brooks with a nice catch from Ty Simpson. 27 yards. He had to kind of slow down and come back to the football slightly, but great adjustment of his body there by Latsier Brooks. First down and 10. Roll Tide. Move the chains. All right, hopefully this will get the Alabama offense clicking a little bit. Trips left. One running back next to Ty Simpson. Shotgun set. Oklahoma rushing 4. Simpson steps up in the pocket, getting chased from behind, and decides just to throw it away. Luckily, that didn't get picked off. Second down and 10 at the OU 41. Got about 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Domination from beginning to end at this point by the Oklahoma Sooners. Second down and 10, shotgun set, man in motion for Ty Simpson in Alabama. Oklahoma only rushing 4. Simpson steps up in the pocket. Perfect throw. There we go. First down, Crimson Tide. Cuevas with the catch. The tight end for Bama. First down, Alabama, Crimson Tide. 23-yard pass from Simpson to Cuevas. Move the chains. And it feels like if they can do a few more of those, again, you should be in the end zone. You're going to get 3 minimum, but obviously if you want to get back in this game, you need to score at least 1 touchdown before halftime. Shotgun set for Simpson. They bring 4. Little check down throw. And Cuevas drops it there. What happened to my hands? Could have been a little bit better of a throw by Ty Simpson there. Second down and 10 at the OU 18. Simpson definitely has been rattled by the Oklahoma pressure. He needs to be a little bit more patient and calm down, but easier said than done when, he's being chased, by Oklahoma defenders. We are not. Second down and 10 at the OU 18, and hopefully Alabama can get a touchdown to make this at least closer of a matchup. Man in motion, shotgun set, handoff, bouncing it to the outside, but just not enough of a lane there. Jam Miller with a 4-yard run. Homosigo there with the tackle for OU. Third down and 6 at the Oklahoma 14. Maybe they can find Ryan Williams in the end zone. Third down and 6 at the OU 14. 17-0 Oklahoma. Come on, Bama. Get a touchdown to make this close. Or at least closer. Audible at the line. Play clock winding down. Oklahoma bringing 5. Simpson rolling outside and not enough for that first down. Good delayed blitz there by Oklahoma. And now it's going to be 4th down and 2, and you got to take the points. Take the 3. You know, there's no time to get cute here. 4-yard pass from Simpson to Bernard, and it looks like they are going to go for it instead of taking the 3. Bad decision. You know, it's not like you're going to win this game anyways, but, you know, take the 3. But DeBoer is stingy and is going for the 4th down conversion. Hopefully it works out for him, but we'll find out. 21 for 33 on 4th down, 64%. Trips left. 5 wide receiver set. Empty backfield for Ty Simpson. Shotgun set. They bring 5. It's caught. And Brooks is there. Broken tackle. Touchdown, Bama. And it looks like the 4th down gamble pays off. 10-yard pass from Simpson to Brooks. They got incredibly lucky there. And now we have a 17-6 Sooner lead. Big missed tackles there by Oklahoma, 4 of them. And again, if they would have been able to wrap up, you know, you would have prevented the touchdown. But great effort there by Let's Hear Brooks. Extra point is up for Bama, and it is good. There we go. Now we actually have at least a football game, you know, instead of a game that's just going to be a rout. 17-7, Oklahoma. Flag on the PAT. We'll see what that's about. All right, flag is picked up. PAT is good. 17-7, Oklahoma. If you're just tuning into the matchup, John Mateer runs for 8 yards for a TD, 7-0 in the first quarter, 8 plays, 59 yards, 3:34 off the clock. Oklahoma responds again with a Sandow 51-yard field goal, and then being a lefty kicker, it was beautiful, 10-0 Oklahoma. Then we go into the second quarter, Mateer with another touchdown, making it obviously another lead that gets extended. And then obviously we just saw the touchdown there from Simpson to make this somewhat of a game. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes. 100 on that dono train and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. .652 left in the second quarter, 17-7 Sooners. Ballsy fourth down there by DeBoer, but I guess when you're down 17-0, you know, what do you have to lose? You only put up 7 points, you know, in the SEC championship game against Georgia, and, you know, you don't want it to turn into, you know, a 24-0 or, you know, 31-0 game. So luckily for Bama, they were able to execute, and great job by Simpson and Brooks with that connection. That was all Brooks on that play. 4 missed tackles by the Sooners, which is rare. And he was able to spin his way into the end zone. Beautiful effort there by Brooks. And Talty there with the kickoff, 65 yards, and that ends up being a touchback. First down and 10 at the OU 25. All right, let's see what Mateer can do here in the last 6:52. I would like to be able to see him run the football with his legs, when it's appropriate. Definitely a weapon there. And again, his throwing motion is a little unconventional, but again, it gets the job done. And we will see what we have here. First down and 10, trips left, 4 wide receiver set with 1 running back next to him. Shotgun set, screen pass. Uh-oh. And a nice shimmy and shake. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. Nice screen pass there from Mateer. And good blocking downfield for Deion Burks as well. 15-yard pass from Mateer to Deion Burks. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. 3 wide receiver set here for Oklahoma. Less than 6:15 left in the second quarter. Sooners up by 10. And if you're Alabama, you need a turnover desperately. Mateer. And running like Tebow, but getting put down like Tebow as well. 4-yard run, rushing towards that right side from the guard. Second down and 6 at the OU 44. I like the play selection for OU. 50% run, 50% pass. 16 plays on the ground, 16 through the air. And you always want to have that balance, not only in the NFL, but in college football if you can. 200 yards for Oklahoma, 87 for Bama. Second down and 6 at the OU 44. Shotgun set, 3 wide receiver set. Mateer looking for Giovanni Gibson. And that's going to be a 3-yard pass. Jackson with the tackle there from Alabama. Third down and 3 at the Oklahoma 47. Carly in the building. What's good? Boomer Sooner. They're looking good here so far. And normally that Alabama gamble on 4th down usually doesn't pay off. But they definitely were desperate and they were able to cash in. But Oklahoma still the dominant team with a 10-point lead. 4:45 left and counting in the second quarter. Blitz rate 15% for Alabama, which is insane because when Saban was running it, that was much higher. Shotgun set for Mateer. Blitz coming off the edge. Mateer avoiding the sack lunch. Says, okay, I'm going to keep my eyes downfield. Floater, he's open. What happened to my hands? And either Mateer should have kept running with the football. But again, Xavier Robinson had a great chance to catch that ball and walk into the end zone, but just short. And again, as you see this corner blitz here, Mateer has that good upper body strength and lower body as well. And look at all that room in the middle of the field. Run, Mateer! But again, Xavier Robinson should have made that catch. Right off the fingertips. What happened to my hands? You got to make that. Especially when Mateer could have rumbled for 10 or 15 yards on the ground by himself, but he was trying to be unselfish. 4th and 3 at the OU 47. Delay a game on OU, and we will see if Alabama can score another touchdown with Ty Simpson to make it 17-14 or 17-10 as we go into half. Five-yard penalty after that delay a game. 4th and 8 at the OU 42. Oh, he blocked it. He blocked it. And that's exactly what Alabama needed. Wow. Big special teams play after the muffed punt. And Alabama cashing in at the right time. Momentum has shifted to the Crimson Tide. And now they got 4:23 in great field position to be able to get a touchdown or field goal to make it 17-10, but preferably 17-14 if you're a Bama fan. And, as he tried to be able to lay that football out in the air, he dropped it, picked it up, and after a second attempt, you're not going to have enough time to make an accurate punt. And great job by the Crimson Tide not giving up on that play by Big Boy 96. I see you. I see you, Keenan. Keenan with the recovery. First down and 10 at the OU 30, and now this game is starting to get spicy. You know, we definitely wanted to have a close game. You know, when it was 17-0, it looked like it was going to be a blowout, but not so fast. Play action, Ty Simpson keeping his eyes downfield. First down, Bama, roll Tide, move the chains. Especially if they get a touchdown here, which would be great to make it 17-14. Ty Simpson to Isaiah Horton with that 14-yard pass. Now it's 1st and 10 at the OU 16. And now you can start to see the swagger, start to come out for the Alabama players on the sideline and the players on the field. They're starting to feel that they actually have a chance now. Ty Simpson trying to settle down and settle in. Oh, here comes the blitz. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And Ty Simpson's got to have a little bit more awareness on that blind side. He's taking sacks from the left and the right. And again, big loss of 7. 2nd down and 17 at the OU 23. Great blitzing there and great scheme by Oklahoma. And Simpson didn't even see it coming. He's lucky he didn't fumble there. Simpson, wide open. Horton is there. And 5-yard pass. 3rd down and 12 at the OU 18. All right, let's see what Ty Simpson can do here on 3rd down and 11 at the OU 17 after that muffed punt. I mean, they're going to get 3 to make it 17-10, you would assume, but getting 6 would be, very important for this Alabama team that has not looked, that great within the last few games of the end of the regular season. 3rd down and 11, shotgun set, short middle, and complete. Good pressure there by Oklahoma, and Simpson goes to his backside. 4th down and 11 at the OU 17, and the kicker will be coming out. Intended running back was going to be Dre Washington if they were able to get that play to be complete. Field goal is up and good by Connor Talty. 7 for 10 inside the 40-yard line, make it 8 for 11, and nice job. 17-10 Sooners. And now Oklahoma will have a 2-minute drill to see if they can get 3 or 6 before halftime. And then if you're Alabama, you're praying for another turnover and a fumble for a touchdown, a pick 6, or just some kind of turnover, so that way you can cut into this lead to 17-13 or 7-17 tie before half. But we will wait to see if Alabama's defense is up for that challenge. We're at 25 on the Dono train, 75 to go. There we go. Appreciate you. 5 more to 30. Let's get it. And I'm really happy that the game isn't 17-0 Oklahoma. Even though I know a majority of the country is rooting for Oklahoma to win, they have a better chance of matching up with Indiana. And trying to, hang tough with a team that's been very good in college football in 2025. If Alabama were to win this game, they would have no chance against Indiana, in my opinion. But again, at least they're making this one interesting. 17-10 Sooners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that Dono train. and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Miami and A&M at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Tulane and Ole Miss at 12:30, and James Madison and Oregon in the college football playoff, which we will be doing a live stream at 4:30 Pacific. But then also we'll keep tabs on the Packers and Bears game at 5:20 Pacific. Definitely, leaning towards Chicago, trying to be able to, beat the Packers at home. But again, we will see if Ben Johnson can call up enough good plays for Caleb to execute. And if the Bears are going to beat the Packers at home, it's going to be running the football and playing great defense, just like they beat Philadelphia around Thanksgiving. 2:08 left before halftime in a good one. 17-10 Oklahoma. Even though Oklahoma got off to a 17-0 lead, Alabama, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of grit, have been able to fight back in this one. Talty with the kickoff. 65 yards turning into a touchback. But again, normally when you have a 9 versus an 8, this is exactly what you want, a pretty close game. And normally when you end up finding matchups like this, even when we talk about college basketball and March Madness, usually those are some of the best matchups, in the first round when you get 8 versus 9. Very evenly matched, even though Notre Dame might be more, worthy of the spot over Bama. But at least Bama at this point has proven that, hey, we're going to score more than we did against Georgia in the SEC championship game. You're at 10. You scored 7 in that game, so you already are doing better. Now, can you actually win the game? We will find out. Shotgun set for John Mateer. Man in motion. Fake jet sweep. Mateer with the keeper on the RPO. And a 2-yard run up the middle. 2nd down and 8 at the Oklahoma 27. And we have the 2-minute warning. 17-10 Sooners. So if you're just tuning in, John Mateer running for an 8-yard TD rush, 7-0 Oklahoma. Sandell, the lefty kicker for Oklahoma, 51-yarder in the first quarter, 10-0 Oklahoma. Mateer going to Sategna the third with a 7-yard TD pass, 17-0 Oklahoma in the beginning of the second quarter. Then Alabama with back-to-back touchdown and field goal opportunities. Ty Simpson to Brooks, 10-yard TD catch. And then we saw Talty there with a 35-yard field goal after the muffed punt. And just like that, 17-0 turns into 17-10 with 2 minutes to go before halftime. Fantastic show if you haven't watched it. Pluribus. If you like Severance, on Apple TV Plus, I feel like it's more about quality than quantity, on Apple TV Plus and some of their programming. But if you like sci-fi as much as I do, again, fantastic show. Toby in the building. What's good? Are you looking forward to Jacksonville and Denver? That's going to be a tough one. But again, if you guys play a clean game, you'll have a shot. But you definitely are going to be an underdog. How you doing in fantasy? Did you get eliminated already, or are you still going in the playoffs? How's your squad doing this year? Yeah. And again, it won't be just the Jags with the underdog mentality. The Texans in your division, same type of underdog mentality. Same thing with the Chargers. And then Steelers or Ravens will be in that boat as well. Really, the only teams that aren't underdogs in the AFC will be obviously the Broncos, the Bills, and the Patriots, who are the three teams that are the most favored to make it to the Super Bowl or represent the AFC Championship game for those AFC members. Shotgun set from Mateer. And Jermichael Carter is open. What a catch. 22-yard pass. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. Winner bracket consolation. Well, good luck. And hopefully you can end up winning that. About a minute 30 to go here. 17-10, Oklahoma. Shotgun set. And Mateer. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And you've seen some timely blitzes here from Oklahoma and Alabama. Nowhere for Mateer to go. 3-yard loss. Justin Jefferson, the Alabama linebacker there with the tackle. Second down and 13 at the OU 46. Alabama playing with a little bit more energy and life. A lot better in the second quarter than it was in the first. And timeout, Bama. And considering they blitzed the least out of all the SEC teams at about 15%, if you end up, bringing that number up to 20 to 30%, that could be the difference between coming back into this game or not. Intercepted. Is that a pick six? The 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Bama. And just like that, the Crimson Tide have tied the game up. What a big pick six. Unbelievable. Wow. And the last thing that you wanted, if you're an Oklahoma fan, was a pick six or a fumble. And we were mentioning that at the beginning of the broadcast that Alabama would desperately need a pick six or a fumble to actually get back into this game. And lo and behold, a few minutes later, John Mateer intercepted by Xavier Brown. And wow, that was awesome. I mean, regardless if you're rooting for Bama or Oklahoma, now we actually have a bowl game in the college football playoff first round that means something. Wow. Wow. That was incredible. And obviously, you're not anticipating a 50-yard return, off the pick six, but he jumps it. And again, there's just, miscommunication with the wide receiver. Xavier Brown plays it as if he was the wide receiver as the DB. Mateer with a arm tackle, not good enough. And just like that, 17-0, 17 unanswered by Alabama, 17 all. We have ourselves a ball game, folks. Wow. And again, that's what you're going to need to do, to be able to catch up against a team that's better than you. And awesome job by the Crimson Tide and Xavier Brown. Wow. I love defense. I love pick sixes. I love fumbles for touchdowns. I love special teams touchdowns like Rashid Shaheed had yesterday for the Hawks versus the Rams. Nothing ends up changing the momentum more in a game as a touchdown on special teams or on defense. Wow. And Talty with the kick, and that turns into a touchback. First down and 10 at the OU 25. And I remember that Brown interception against Tennessee earlier in the year. So it's not like Xavier Brown is new to this game. The pick six game runs through his veins, and it shows. I mean, if you don't get that pick six, there's a good chance that, you don't come back in this game. But now the momentum has shifted. First quarter, Oklahoma. Second quarter, Alabama. Who's going to win the third and the fourth? Who the hell knows? Shotgun set for Mateer and batted down by Bama. Second down and 10 at the OU 25. Three wide receiver set here for Oklahoma. Shotgun set. Keontez Lewis is there and gets taken down. Jackson with the tackle. Third down and 5 at the OU 30 with about a minute to go and counting before halftime. Good for Alabama. Again, a lot of us were, questioning, did this team even belong with 3 losses in the college football playoff? And thankfully, they matched up with a team, very evenly with skill, as in Oklahoma. And I'd like to be able to see a war, just like in the battle in Seattle that we saw yesterday between the Hawks and the Rams. We're getting a battle between the Crimson Tide and the Sooners, and I love it. Shotgun set, Mateer rushing up the middle and gain of about 1. Fourth down and 4 at the OU 31. Fantastic first half. And again, if it was 17-0, is there a certain amount of people that would have turned this game off? Probably, not myself, because obviously I'm streaming it, and hoping that Alabama catches up. But, to be able to get 17 unanswered after being down 17-0, that was not, on anyone's bingo card. And, a beautiful 50-yard pick six to kind of exclamation point that last drive. And again, we have ourselves an amazing second half incoming. But you couldn't have asked for a better first half between these two teams, especially Alabama, who could have just rolled over and just died, being down 17-0 and ended up getting, smashed by 20 or more. But they're playing with a lot of heart and fight, and, going for that first touchdown on fourth down sparked the momentum, then getting a field goal and then getting the pick six. But DeBoer, doing his best here for Alabama. 22 seconds left here before halftime, 17-17 all. I hope we get another pick six or a fumble for a touchdown in the second half. And timeout, Oklahoma. Sideline interference. So sideline interference is going to turn it into what? Fourth down and super long. Fourth and what? 18? Something like that. First down and 10, no huddle, shotgun set. Mateer, 3-yard pass towards the sideline is caught. Second down and 7 at the 50. Mateer to Jermichael Carter. Three wide receiver set. Second down and 7 with 19 seconds to go. Mateer and gets tripped up from behind. Nice job by Pierre from the Crimson Tide. Third down. Third down and 10 with about 14 seconds left. Timeout, Oklahoma. Great duo with Herb Street and Chris Fowler. Yeah. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer, short right to Torrey Blaylock, but short of the marker. Good effort, though. 4th down and 4 at the Alabama 47. And clock winds down, and now that is halftime. Wow, fantastic first half. You couldn't have asked for a better first half in the college football playoff first round game between the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide 10-3 versus the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners 10-2. 17-0 Oklahoma, 17 unanswered for Alabama in the second quarter, tied up at 17 at half. Awesome. We know NFL games usually are about 12 minutes for halftime. I'm curious to see how long halftime will be, with this college football playoff. I'm hoping not too much longer, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but we'll find out here momentarily if they have a little bit of a countdown. And Alabama is going to receive the second half kickoff. So, again, with all the Uncle Mo and the momentum on Alabama and the Crimson Tide side, they do have a chance to be able to take their first lead if they can score on the first drive in the second half when they get the football. Alabama first in the SEC, Oklahoma fifth in the SEC. And if there's anything photo-wise, Jolly, Megan, that you want to be able to see, let me know, and I got you. A little bit of a slow start for Ty Simpson, but was able to kind of put things together there in that second quarter. Good for him. And we know that John Mateer is a better runner But again, I don't want to be able to see really designed runs. It kind of has to be one of those plays where it's a broken play and then he's able to run and, get additional yardage. Because I feel like after the touchdown run, some of them have been a little, a little bit too predictable, with what they plan on using him for. And hopefully they get back to the unpredictability like they had in the first quarter. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Three playoff games tomorrow. Can't wait for those. I will definitely be up early at 9 a.m. watching the first. Miami and A&M at 9 a.m. I'll be watching that. Tulane and Ole Miss. Probably, not as many people will be watching that particular matchup, but I'll tune in. And then James Madison in Oregon at 4:30 Pacific. And I'm looking forward to that. We'll be streaming that tomorrow. Go Ducks. And again, the one I'm really looking forward to on the NFL side tomorrow out of the two games, Eagles Commanders should be a blowout, but I do think Bears and Packers being in Chicago should be very, very interesting. Yeah, well, we've seen it all here on the channel, right? No matter if we're doing, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NASCAR, UFC, you name it, we do it here. And, you can definitely tell when someone is a regular or a newbie. Or just a hater. Get plenty of those. But that's when you're doing something. Halftime, 17-17 all between Alabama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma scoring the first 17. Alabama scoring the last 17 unanswered in the second quarter. And good for them. They definitely got smashed by Georgia in the SEC championship game. A lot of us were questioning, do they actually even belong in the college football playoff with 3 losses when you have a team like Notre Dame that was more worthy of the spot? But at least, even though a lot of us didn't agree with Bama, getting in, at least they're playing like they belong in this game and they're not getting beat 17-0 like they were in the first quarter. Fantastic first half. I agree. How much longer is this halftime report going to be? Hopefully it ends up. I know it's going to be longer than the NFL. The NFL has got it down. 12 minutes is perfect. And I feel that this is going to be like 15 or 20 for college football. But hopefully it's not any longer than 20. I don't think the college kids need that much time. 16 for 24, 186 yards, TD pick, and a rushing TD from the tier. Led 17-0, but allowed 17 points in the last 6:52 of the second quarter, and that's all why we have an amazing game. And again, I don't think anybody anticipated a pick six, from Alabama. If you were assuming someone that was going to get a pick six, you would assume it would be probably Oklahoma. But again, a fantastic first college football playoff first round game here this Friday evening. Haters or spammers? You get the robo, the robots and, the individuals that are people that are spamming up, some garbage link, to watch the game that no one's going to click on. So I feel like that ends up, being a little annoying. And again, I think with, haters in general, there's jealousy and, just people that are negative, going through a hard time in life and, feeling that the only way that they can make themselves feel a little bit better about themselves is maybe talking shit to someone else on the computer and whatnot. So, again, I think both are equally annoying, and whatnot. But again, as you get bigger and bigger as a channel, if you don't have any haters whatsoever, you're not getting to the point where you're big enough, and once you continue to get bigger and bigger, and you have bigger and bigger sub numbers and whatnot, then eventually, that will draw, the haters to see what all the talk is about, or why someone is doing as good as they are, with all the hard work that particular channel has put in. So, but again, it kind of depends, because obviously with the haters, we can eliminate them very quickly. But with a lot of the spammers, sometimes they're putting up 5 to 10 links, and sometimes it's ridiculous, where we'll have like 50 robo, spammers in a particular game. And that gets a little ridiculous. I mean, if you get a couple during a stream, so be it, but no streamer wants to boot out, multiple links 50 times in a 3.5 hour stream. You know what I mean? Fantastic game here, and we will find out how much time hopefully we have left before we get into the action. 17-17 all between the Crimson Tide and the Sooners. So this is exactly what I wanted for a Friday night. Something that was a good matchup, and they definitely did it right, by not making this Miami Texas A&M or doing Tulane Ole Miss. I think Miami A&M would have been perfect also if they were able to flip it with this Alabama Oklahoma. I think Miami A&M has a chance to be a good one. Ole Miss and Tulane should be a blowout, and Oregon and James Madison should be a blowout. But hopefully we get some good football, at least in the first half, in those games that are assumed to be blowouts and whatnot. But as we get deeper into the college football playoff, then it's going to get really spicy, right? So the winner of Oregon and James Madison plays Texas Tech, and that's at 9 a.m. The winner of this plays Indiana. That's going to be tough. The winner of Ole Miss and Tulane plays Georgia, so we assume it'll be Ole Miss, and then you'll have that SEC battle. And then the winner of Miami and A&M plays Ohio State. So pretty much every matchup after this round is going to be pretty sexy. It's going to be pretty sexy, and there definitely is going to be a favorite, that most people are going to be leaning towards. But, moving forward as we get into next weekend, that's really where it's going to, go to a whole nother level of, not only challenges, for each teams, but the competitiveness, to be able to get a natty. And obviously the 4 teams that have the best, shot, obviously to get it, done, obviously this season, Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Oregon. It kind of feels like those are the 4, but I guess you never know, if Texas Tech gets hot, or Ole Miss, gets hot, or Miami and A&M get hot, maybe, one of those teams could go on a deep run. But, based on what we've seen with Indiana and Cignetti, Ryan Day in Ohio State, Dan Lanning in Oregon, and Kirby Smart in Georgia, to me, those are the 4 best that have the best shots. So. Now, we're proud to have you, man. It's great to be able to have some East Coast flavor on the channel, and again, we'll be grinding it out, doing college football and the NFL. And then once obviously those seasons end, the first spring training game for the Mariners is February 20th, but I don't know if it'll be televised. I highly doubt it, but we'll figure out, how that will all work out for Mariner fans, since Root Sports is no longer the provider. And as soon as they start doing baseball games on the new Mariner link, then I'll start doing them. And then we'll obviously be doing Mariner baseball from March, hopefully all the way to October, beginning of November. And hopefully we'll be able to make another World Series run in 2025. (17-17), tied at half. I love this time of year. Remember in the past when I had different sales jobs, sometimes we would end up having like a week off as people were settling in on different business trips and getting things kind of situated. And I remember back in the day just soaking in every single bowl game and watching so much football and trying to soak it all in. And obviously they have the bowl games spread out a little bit differently now since we have the college football playoff. But I'm very, very excited to be able to soak in as much college football before it ends. Same thing with the NFL. It's going to be fantastic to see who we have in the Natty. It should be Oregon or Indiana on the top bracket, Georgia or Ohio State in the bottom bracket, and then in the NFL, who knows? You got the Hawks and the Rams and the Eagles and a few other teams like the Bears and the Niners and the Packers and the Lions, and obviously Broncos, Bills, Patriots, second tier, Texans, Chargers, Jags, and then obviously someone between the Steelers and Ravens have to get in, just like the Buccaneers and Panthers in the NFC South. But I don't think anyone is going to claim the Buccaneers or Panthers are contenders. Same thing with the Steelers and the Ravens. Those four teams are pretenders this year, but you never know. Anything can happen once you get to the playoffs. Yeah, the Mariners run was, fantastic, so that way we could actually get some good growth, on the channel. And again, I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. Next year, here in just a few days, it'll be my 14th year of streaming, 10 years on YouTube. And I remember when I started, I gave myself a 10-year plan to hopefully be full-time by then. And I've been already full-time since year 6, roughly. So I'm about 4 years early on that, but we still got a long ways to go, especially when you got long-term goals, to get to 25,000 subs, 50, 75. And then my long-term goal is 100. So, and obviously it's tough, to be able to hit that type of number, but I'm very confident, as long as I, stay consistent, that eventually we'll be able to hit those goals and hit those numbers. But definitely very excited about the Mariners and the MLB season once we get into that in spring. We're just approaching almost 15 to 20 minutes here at half, so we got to be getting close to hopefully being over. Rangers and D-backs in 2023. Yeah, I mean, we've done so many live streams and, uploads and whatnot. It's definitely been a journey, trying to go from, over 5.2 or 5.3 million views. The next goal, obviously, is to get to 10 million. So, we already are halfway to where I want to be, and again, we just got to keep grinding it out. 17 all between Alabama and Oklahoma. If you're just tuning in, Oklahoma scored the first 17 points. Alabama scored 17 unanswered in the second quarter, including a 50-yard pick six. And now we have a beautiful 17-17 tie. And hopefully the second half will be started here in just a few minutes. And even though things didn't really work out, for the Red Sox this year, you got to be happy the Patriots are one of the, best teams in football. If you're looking at their balance, offense, defense, and special teams, you could easily argue they're the most well-balanced team in the AFC and one of the most well-balanced teams in the entire NFL. So, Josh McDaniels and Drake May, are on the same page. Two great running backs. Travion Henderson should be Rookie of the Year. We obviously know Ibuka was great for the first month, and Tyler Warren has been good at tight end for the Colts. But to me, the most impressive rookie in the NFL is Travion Henderson from the Ohio State University. And I think he's so good, he should be starting over Ramondre Stevenson. I think it's a good 1-2 punch. But again, if you can continue to keep running the football well, getting some great leadership out of Drake May, and the defense comes to play. We know the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen are tough to beat, as well as the Broncos and Bo Nix and that amazing defense. But, you definitely are one of the top 3 favorites, to be able to, get to the AFC Championship game and possibly get to the Super Bowl. Now, the Patriots style of play, may not be for everyone, but if you actually have watched them play this year, it's been a huge improvement, especially for a team that had 4 wins to where they're at now. So. All right, can we get past fucking halftime? Like, how long is halftime? The NFL does 12 minutes. And I get this, it's college football and whatnot, but I mean, do they really need 20 to 30 minutes at halftime? It seems a little excessive. But I guess on the flip side, I'm glad that we're not seeing some like concert, in the middle of some of the games, which sometimes you would see, I get it if it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas and whatnot, but I don't know. Sometimes there's a time and a place, for like a mini concert, you can do things before the game starts or after the game, but there shouldn't be any type of concert in the middle of the game, even at halftime. I mean, I guess unless you're talking about Super Bowl. All right. Another commercial after another commercial. And again, we're approaching around 20 minutes now at half. So, NFL is 12. So we got to be getting close to the second half starting, at least I would assume. Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, Patriots. But the Patriots, out of your 4 main teams you root for, that's actually the one that could make it to the AFC Championship game, could actually make it to the Super Bowl, and actually could win it. And again, it's been a while, to be able to, say that about a New England team post Belichick and Brady and Gronk. And we never knew how long it would take for New England to get a new identity, after Bill and Tom and obviously Rob. And it definitely took a few years and the right coach to figure it out. But, you definitely got everything clicking. So. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And again, if you didn't have Josh McDaniels there mentoring him, maybe, you're still in that, 4 to 8 win range. So, and obviously, adding on, Diggs was huge. Anytime Diggs goes to a team, even if he has some baggage off the field, he ends up improving any team that he goes to, whether it's Minnesota, and what he was able to do there, and the Minneapolis Miracle, obviously going there to the Bills and Josh Allen and making Josh Allen an actual name. And then obviously now with New England. And when he went to New England in the offseason, it didn't really raise any eyebrows. But again, I like the players that they have. They have a nice mix, of players at wide receiver and tight end. And again, the running backs with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, to me, like I said, that's rookie of the year. I don't think I've seen anyone else have more of an impact, in the season, game in and game out, besides Henderson. And to me, he's RB1 over Ramondre. But again, eventually that will, work its way normally. And then they can shift Ramondre to be the change of pace back, and then giving Travion the keys to the castle. But it really is about coaching, and O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling, and if you got great coordinators and great coaches, that'll make everything fall into place. And hopefully halftime will be over here momentarily. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it. Bang, bang. Yeah, I agree. Obviously he's got a few brothers in the family, very competitive, very bright kid. And again, it definitely feels like that's going to be the guy moving forward for potentially the next 10 to 15 years. And that's got to be exciting, and it shows you sometimes when you hire, someone that used to be a player, sometimes it works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And then you got to find the right one to kind of lead the charge. But Jared Mayo, he wasn't it, but you got a good one now. Vrabel, doing the defense, and then you got McDaniels doing the offense. So, and again, if you didn't have Josh McDaniels there, Drake May isn't going to be as good as he is. So, when you end up having a guru as a play caller, and again, I put Josh McDaniels in the same category as Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, as well as Ben Johnson, for the Bears. Like when you have a genius play caller, it really does make it so much easier, for things to trickle down, as long as you have a quarterback that's willing to listen and willing to be coached up. All right, we're finally over halftime, almost, 25, 30 minutes. It seems a little unnecessary, but again, we're back into the action, and we're going to get into kickoff here momentarily. Yes, Mateer played for the Cougs. And Tate Sandell, 60-yard kickoff, fair caught by Brooks. First down and 10 at the Alabama 25. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We're back in it, baby. Let's go. I mean, nowadays in college football, if you end up getting a quarterback, chances are they bounced around. There's not a whole lot of loyalty, with players and coaches nowadays. And obviously with the NIL and with all the money and everything else, it's very possible, a quarterback could be, on a different team, in 4 years, bouncing around from a team to another, depending on, what's going on with them and if they're starting or if they end up being a backup or if they have an injury. Little play action there by Ty Simpson. Check down to Bernard and a nice 12-yard pass. First down. Bama. Move the chains. $17 all. We'll see if Ty Simpson can keep it moving. Fantastic first half. One of the best first halves I've seen, in college football this year. And hopefully the second half will be just as good. No huddle, shotgun set. Simpson, short right to Isaiah Horton for a 4-yard pass. Second down and 6 at the Alabama 41. I think to a certain degree, the NIL has ruined, college sports in general. Again, you're always going to get, donors and, certain things that are going to be putting money illegally, to the players' families or the players or the school, but, it definitely is, it helped the players make money and whatnot. But as far as like loyalty for coaches and players, it feels like it's getting worse and worse with everything else that's in play. But shotgun set on second down and 6. Simpson going short right to Isaiah Horton again, incomplete. Third down and 6 at the Alabama 41. I think with college basketball, it's really only entertaining during March Madness. The NBA isn't really as entertaining as it was in the 80s and 90s. And obviously that's not really due to NIL, but, it's just about effort and the talent of the players playing now compared to the players that were playing in the 80s and 90s. But, at least football and baseball are still going to be very competitive, whether that's college football, NFL, or with the MLB. And then if you're an NHL fan, obviously, NHL is always going to be competitive. And we got a penalty for a false start there on Caden Proctor, who jumped early. And that's going to be 3rd down and 11 at the Alabama 36 after the penalty. All right, we'll see if Ty Simpson can get it done here. 3rd down and 11 at the Alabama 36. Shotgun set, Simpson, short right to Ryan Williams, and complete. 4th down and 11 at the Alabama 36. And Alabama is set to punt. And we'll see if John Mateer can have better luck on his first drive here in the second half. And Blake Dodd with a 38-yard punt. Fair caught. 1st down and 10 at the Oklahoma 26. And again, Ryan Williams, a few years back was, like a Jeremiah Smith, type of player, but obviously with Saban no longer being there and again, him not really getting the touches and the looks like a Jeremiah Smith, you can't really put those guys in the same category anymore. 13:22 left in the third quarter as we go to commercial break. 1st down and 10 at the OU 25. Set it up here for John Mateer. Yeah, for real. Especially when they put up only 7 against Georgia. I'm really proud of them. Obviously I think a majority of the country is still rooting for Oklahoma to win, but to put up 7 in the SEC championship game and then to be down 17-0 and us kind of questioning why the hell are they even in the college football playoff over Notre Dame, and then to be able to get 17 unanswered, including a 50-yard pick six. That's what makes football amazing. Again, when, everyone is kind of counting you out and then you can end up making a big play. And, we even mentioned it, earlier in the broadcast, the only way Alabama is going to be able to keep this game close is if they ended up getting a pick six or a fumble for a touchdown. And lo and behold, about 5-10 minutes after we said that, that's exactly what happened. So, I don't think anyone anticipated Oklahoma starting on a 17-0 lead in the first quarter. And then no one anticipated Alabama scoring 17 unanswered in the second quarter. So, it's nice to, be surprised, once in a while in sports and not have the predictable outcome of Oklahoma winning by like 30 and having the game being like 24-0 right now. So nice for Alabama to at least put up a fight. And now being tied at 17, it could really go either way. I mean, obviously, we assume Oklahoma will have a better chance against Indiana than Alabama would, but, they're going to have to earn it. Looking forward to the Eagles and Commanders, Packers and Bears tomorrow. 2 games in the NFL on Saturday. And then if you're a big college football fan like myself, 9 a.m., number 10 Miami, number 7 Texas A&M. Wake up early and watch. It'd be great. Tulane and Ole Miss. That's going to be on at 12:30. Number 11 Tulane, number 6 Ole Miss. I feel that one won't be as watched by as many. And then obviously we got James Madison versus my Oregon Ducks at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, and we will be doing that here on the channel. Obviously, an easy path for Oregon, on that first matchup, but it does get kind of spicier after that. Obviously Texas Tech at 9 a.m. in the Orange Bowl. We win that. Then you play Indiana for the chance to make it to the Natty. And then obviously we assume it will be Georgia and Ohio State in the bottom end of the bracket. So, Bank in the building. What's good? Fantastic win by the Hawks. Chief in the building. What's good, brother? down and 10, shotgun set by Torrey Blaylock there, 4-yard rush up middle. Boston and Hill Green with the tackle. 2nd down and 6 at the OU 29. 17 points by Oklahoma in the first quarter, 17 unanswered by the Alabama Crimson Tide in the second quarter, including a 50-yard victory. And just like that, we have a 17-17 tie. That's good. Thanks, bud. That's good, Chief. Happy Friday. Shotgun set here, incomplete short middle to Deion Burks, his favorite target. Broken up there by Green. 3rd down and 6 at the OU 29. And I'm really happy that the first college football playoff game is a competitive one, not a blowout. And we'll see if Mateer can find a way to match Ty Simpson's energy here on this drive. And we know he's a better runner, and again, was able to get the first rushing touchdown, but the running plays cannot be designed for him. It needs to be on the fly. And, if they're able to have that happen, he should be able to potentially run for another touchdown later in this game, or at least get a few big first downs to help Oklahoma try to win this game. 4 wide receiver set, empty backfield. Shotgun set, Mateer, short middle. And Sategna the third, incomplete. What happened to my hands? And a few drops by the wide receivers on Oklahoma and Alabama. And that's going to be 4th down and 6 at the OU 29. Miller, 54-yard punt. And an 8-yard return there by Cole Adams. 1st down and 10 at the Alabama 25. And a flag on the play. Yeah, I don't want to touch anything at the moment, but I can go through some of the options here. All right, they're going to cue to a commercial break. $12:19 left in the third quarter. 17-17 all between Bama and Oklahoma. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Oh, baby. What a game. I mean, the only thing that could be a little bit better with, the college football playoff format is halftime not being, 25 to 30 minutes, being closer to 12 like the NFL. And obviously, gosh, they just sprinkle in so many fucking commercials, don't they? Like, we just want to watch football, and I get it, the sponsors and whatnot pay a lot of money to be in certain spots, where they know people are watching, but, it gets a little bit ridiculous. And that's for anything that you watch. I mean, your favorite shows, whether you have a streaming service that has fucking ads or not, I mean, with all these streaming services, it was supposed to be cheaper than cable or satellite, but now you have to have like 8 of them to be able to watch all the different things that you want, and it ends up being even more expensive than when you had cable or satellite. Nice cutback. Go Daniel Hill, and a big 30-yard run there by Daniel Hill from Alabama. First down, Bama. Roll Tide, move the chains. And a great job by pulling by that offensive line. First down and 10 at the OU 30. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Ty Simpson, incomplete short right to Natsir Brooks. And it'll be second down and 10 at the OU 30. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 17-17 all. Who's going to break the tie? Whose defense is going to step up the most here in the second half? The battle in the trenches, another thing to keep an eye on. The O-line and the D-line battle so far tonight. Shotgun set. Simpson going deep to Brooks. Touchdown, Bama! And they get their first lead of the game. Wow. Beautiful job by Ty Simpson, and there was a reason why he was in a top 5 candidate for a Heisman. Wow. Nice job by Ty Simpson to Natsir Brooks. 24 unanswered for Alabama. 24-17 Crimson Tide. Wow. Way to bring the electricity. Yeah, I think, obviously I'm looking forward to the Stranger Things finale. I like Pluribus a lot. I like, educated kind of sci-fi stuff like Severance and whatnot. But, and then Fallout just came out on Prime, season 2, episode 1. So, I mean, there's plenty of good shows, to definitely watch, other than sports or after when sports is over. So, but a beautiful 30-yard touchdown pass from Ty Simpson to Natsir Brooks. And just like that, Oklahoma with a 17-point lead in the first quarter, 24 unanswered by Bama, 17 in the second quarter, and then now 7 here in the third. Incredible. Yeah, we're not going to whoop JMU 70-0. There's a chance that we start slow in that game and then obviously pull away in the second half. Obviously, the Texas Tech game, after that's going to be, very, very interesting because it's going to be on at 9 a.m. So if Oregon beats JMU, which we assume that they will, that Texas Tech game will be tough. Indiana after that will be tough. And then obviously if you get past Indiana, then we're talking about Oregon in the Natty against Georgia or Ohio State. And hopefully we get to that point. And I know the Raven season hasn't really gone the way that you had liked, this year, but, hopefully you guys will be able to fight all the way to the end with the Steelers or that last spot, just like, me and NC Jolly battling it out between the Buccaneers and the Panthers for the last spot in the NFC South. Shotgun set there for John Mateer. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And Mateer goes down, and Oklahoma needs to regroup. Otherwise, they're going to get upset by Alabama. What's task about, Judah? What's the premise of the show? And after that sack, that'll be a 5-yard loss. Keeley with the big sack lunch. 2nd down and 15 at the Oklahoma 20. Yeah, well, I mean, considering, Chief, that they've scored 24 unanswered, a lot better than that 7-point blowout or 7-point performance in the blowout against Georgia in the SEC championship game. A much better Alabama team, and we didn't know if they would be able to show up. A lot of us were thinking Notre Dame was more deserving than a 3-loss Alabama team, but they're playing like a 2-loss team right now today, not a 3-loss team. Uh-oh. And another 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. What is this, Nick Saban and Alabama? What is going on here? Simmons with a big sack lunch. Now it's 3rd down and 22 at the OU 13, and everything that was going great for Oklahoma in the first quarter, not so much in the 2nd and 3rd down. FBI investigating a biker gang. Is it kind of like Sons of Anarchy or like that type of stuff? I mean, I like FBI type stuff, and I like biker gang stuff, so it sounds like it would be something I would watch. And no huddle shotgun set. Mateer pass complete short middle to Torrey Blaylock for a 12-yard gain, which is going to turn into a punt here. And Grayson Miller punts 47 yards. Cole Adams with a 10-yard return, and now it's 1st down and 10 at the Alabama 38. Oh, that sounds like definitely a show. I don't have HBO at the moment, though, but maybe at some point I'll end up doing like a month preview or like at a, cheaper rate or something. But it definitely, how many, is it a brand new show? So this is the first season of the show, or is there multiple seasons of the show out already? I haven't heard of that show before, so I assume it's new. But also, I don't have HBO on a regular basis either, so. 3 angles, the 2 gangs, and the FBI. Oh, that's awesome. Sounds fantastic. .5:25 left in the 3rd quarter, and it's all Alabama. Who would have thought? 24-17, Crimson Tide. Okay. Golly, so many commercials, man. So many commercials on regular TV, so many commercials on streaming apps, so many commercials and bullshit and sports. Like, just give us the sports that we want. And I get it, you can have like a commercial here, commercial there, but the way they jam pack, these commercials is just fucking insane. Yeah, I did see the prequel to the Game of Thrones. I'll watch that. I mean, I would say every about 6 months to a year, I rewatch Game of Thrones, so. And I'll just binge it until I finish it, so. I mean, the prequel doesn't look anywhere near as good as, the original Game of Thrones, but, anything to do with that show, I'll end up watching. 24-17 Crimson Tide after a 17-0 lead in the first quarter by Oklahoma. 24 unanswered by the Crimson Tide. And we have 5:25 left in the 3rd quarter. And again, it's kind of been the tale of 2 halves. You definitely saw John Mateer look very comfortable in that first quarter with that 17-0 lead, but now it's been all Ty Simpson for the second and third quarter. And again, it's going to take another big play, from Oklahoma's defense, just like Alabama got a 50-yard pick six before halftime. It kind of feels like Oklahoma might need to do the same thing. They may need to get a fumble for a touchdown or a pick six to kind of even out the balance of this game. Oh, I mean, just like everyone else, it wasn't really one of the best endings that we could have asked for. That's for damn sure. I mean, that's one of the things that a lot of shows end up, kind of getting criticized for is the ending, and, not everyone's ending is going to be like The Sopranos or Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul and whatnot. But yeah, I would say one of the more disappointing endings was in Game of Thrones, but the overall body of work of the show was one of the best shows of all time, in my opinion. The actors and actresses were top tier, as well as the writing and the visuals. And Ty Simpson rushes left towards that guard side. Jackson with the coverage and no gain. Second down and 10 at the Alabama 38. Shotgun set. Simpson, complete short middle to Cuevas. And that's a nice 8-yard pass for Ty. Third down and 2 at the Alabama 46. I mean, I was already hooked on Game of Thrones after the first episode, and, it's one of those things when you have a show like that, it's hard to put down, and you just keep watching it. Nice job by Cuevas, and hopefully Simpson will be able to get a few more targets to him at the tight end position. Third down and 2 at the Alabama 46. Entourage, another great show. Sopranos, fantastic. Shotgun set. Simpson going deep to Bernard and incomplete. Why would you go for a deep pass there on third down and 2? Come on. Fourth down and 2 now at the Alabama 46. And again, Alabama went for it on fourth down to get their first touchdown of the game, and they haven't really looked back since. And we got a flag on the play, a late flag, and we'll see if this is defensive pass interference or if it ends up being a holding call on the O-line. Let's see. Holding. Defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down. Vikings, Yellowstone. I love those shows as well. I mean, I like Apple TV Plus with Severance and Pluribus. I think those are fantastic, but it kind of depends on the shows that you like. I really like sci-fi a lot. It's probably my favorite genre. So, shotgun set, 5 wide receiver set with an empty back. Back goes into the backfield late, and a little delayed handoff, and a minimal gain there for Bama. Bernard, no gain. Second down and 10 at the OU 44. Shotgun set. Simpson, complete short right to Brooks, who got the touchdown earlier. 5-yard completion. Third down and 5 at the OU 39. 24-17, Alabama with a 7-point lead, which is pretty shocking. But again, at least they decided to step up in the college football playoff rather than their performance in the SEC championship game against Georgia when they only put up 7. So I'm definitely proud of the way that they've showed up here today. Less than 7 minutes and counting here in the third quarter. Third down and 5 at the OU 39. Shotgun set there for Simpson, and he rushes left, and a nice 13-yard gain, making something out of nothing there. First down, Bama, Roll Tide. Protection breaks down. He decides to run. He's got good enough speed to run away from those 2 D linemen. And first down and 10 at the OU 26. Roll Tide, move the chains. First down, Bama. Looks like a little bit of a hold there on Alabama that wasn't called after the replay. Shotgun set, Simpson, complete short left to Josh Cuevas, the tight end. Second down and 6 now at the Oklahoma 22. Very methodical drive here by Alabama. And it kind of feels like if Alabama scores a touchdown, can Oklahoma come back from 14? You know, in the first quarter, you had said, yeah, if we get that Oklahoma team, but in the second and third quarter, it's been a little shaky for them. They need to hold Alabama to a field goal on this drive or nothing. Easier said than done, though, when they've gotten all the momentum since the second quarter. 4 wide receiver set turns into 5 wide receiver set, empty back, shotgun set for Ty Simpson. And throws towards the sideline, and another drop ball. Fucking A, dude. Caleb Edwards, the other tight end, with the drop pass. And we've seen quite a few drops from Oklahoma and Alabama in the matchup. Not, ideal for Mateer and Simpson as QBs there. No huddle, shotgun set. Jam Miller up the middle, stuffed by Halton. And Grayson Halton wraps up and brings him down. And that's going to turn into 4th down and 6 at the OU 22. So at least Oklahoma's defense stepped up when they needed it the most, and I assume this will be a field goal attempt. Field goal is up, and good. 27-17, Bama up by 10 with 4:30 to go. And then if you're an Oklahoma fan, you definitely need, to get points as soon as possible. ABC, ESPN as well. So depending on where you're located and what your providers are. Global broadcast on ABC, ESPN. (27-17) Alabama. 4:30 left in the third quarter. Another billion commercials before we get back into the action. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Ty Simpson doing a good job after struggling in the first quarter. And as far as Sooner fans and John Mateer, if you want it to be Boomer Sooner, you better hurry up. You're running out of time. You got a quarter and 4 minutes and 30 seconds in the third to make up a 10-point deficit. And they definitely have a lot to be able to work out, between this offense and defense if they're going to come back. And then obviously the winner of this particular matchup would go against Indiana. So you would assume that neither one of these teams is going to beat Indiana. But again, you never know. And on the schedule for tomorrow in sports, if you are a fan of NFL and college football, starting it off at 9 a.m. will be number 10 Miami and number 7 Texas A&M. I will be up early to watch that. A&M is a favorite on the Vegas line by 3.5. Then you got Tulane 11 versus number 6 Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 17.5. So that should, be a blowout, but you never know. And then we got James Madison in Oregon at 4:30 Pacific, and we will be doing that live stream on the channel. Go Ducks. And then if you're an NFL fan, they do have 2 games here on Saturday, which I absolutely love. A few games on Saturday and Sunday for the NFL. Eagles and Commanders. at 2 o'clock Pacific on Fox. And then after that, we got the Packers and the Bears at 5:20 Pacific. So when we do James Madison in Oregon, we will also be keeping up with Green Bay and Chicago. Should be a good one. And again, if the Bears can run the football efficiently and play good defense, they should be able to beat the Packers just like they were able to beat the Eagles on Black Friday after Thanksgiving. And Talty with the kickoff, 65 yards with the touchback. And now Oklahoma, first down and 10 at the OU 25. All right, Mateer, time is running out. You got to get back to what you guys were doing in that first quarter. And again, drops are unacceptable, and you got quite a few by both teams. But again, who's going to end up being more of an efficient play caller, and who's going to execute, with the line of scrimmage with the O-line and the D-line? Because that's really where you're going to get the winner. If you're down by 10, trying to get points, before the third quarter ends would be ideal, making it 27-20 or preferably 27-24. Shotgun set, Mateer rushing towards that left side of the field, gaining about 7. Second down and 3. Justin Jefferson, the linebacker for Bama, with the tackle. Nice run there by Mateer. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer rushing for 2 yards. Faga with the tackle. Third down and 1 at the OU 34. And again, you have to be kind of patient with Mateer, based on when you decide to run with him. And again, there's a time and a place, but you got to make sure you're getting your receivers and tight ends involved in the matchup. Big third down here for Oklahoma. About 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, down by 10. No huddle, shotgun set, and now it's just the Mateer show for John. 1 yard gain. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. First down and 10 at the OU 35. Keenan with the tackle there for Bama. No huddle, shotgun set. Xavier Robinson, the running back, gets that football. 3 yard gain. Second down and 7 at the OU 38. Crimson tied up by 10 after being down 17-0 in the first quarter and scoring 27 unanswered. Even a 50-yard pick six in the second quarter to get that to be 17-17 all. 2:30 left in the third quarter after that 3 yard run there by Xavier Robinson for the Sooners. Deontay Lawson with the tackle. $55 rushing yards for Oklahoma, only 40 for Bama. They could definitely use Jahmyr Gibbs. No huddle, shotgun set. Torrey Blaylock is there, rushing up the middle for a 6 yard gain. Hubbard with the tackle. Third down and 2 at the OU 43. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Alabama up by 10. Winner advances to face Indiana and get their ass kicked, more than likely. Indiana is so clean. Offense, defense, special teams, top 10 in all three. It's going to be, you have to literally play a perfect game to beat Indiana. And I know Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon can do it, but salute to the Big Ten champs and Cignetti. They've earned it. No huddle, shotgun set from Mateer, complete to Torrey Blaylock, the running back. First down, Sooners. Move the chains. and they needed that desperately. First down and 10 at the OU 48. Everyone shifting left and him rolling bootleg to the right. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer rushing to the left side. No gain. Justin Jefferson, the linebacker for Bama, with the tackle. Second down and 10 at the OU 48. And I feel like they're going a little bit too much to Mateer with the running game. You know, we know that he is a good dual threat, but, you know, you have to let the game come to you and not just have him run the football as a quarterback, 3-4 plays in a row, or, even doing back-to-back plays. I mean, you got to be able to kind of open up the offense there. And then the clock is ticking down. That's the end of the third quarter. Bama still up by 10, 27-17. Cue the billion commercials before we get back to the fourth quarter. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. End of the third quarter, 27-17, Bama. Gain another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. And just like when we were talking about not having any performances during college football, cue in 50 Cent in the fourth quarter. Really? Come on. I mean, regardless if you love hip hop or you don't, there is no need for 50 Cent to be performing. I mean, I get it. You got commercial breaks and whatnot, but this is a little ridiculous. All right, we're finally into the fourth quarter. You know, we're still going to have a few extended long commercial breaks, but again, 17-0 Oklahoma, 17-17 at halftime, 17 unanswered by Bama, and then another 10 in the third quarter. It's going to take a miracle for Oklahoma to come back, and they're definitely going to need like a pick six or a fumble for a touchdown themselves, it feels like. But again, they definitely need points on this drive in the fourth quarter, a minimum of 3, but preferably 6. Second down and 10. Shotgun set, 3 wide receiver set for John Mateer. Snap is good. Pressure up the middle. Mateer steps up in the pocket. And throw is a little low and complete. But a flag is going to come out. And that's going to be pass interference on Hubbard, the DB there for the Crimson Tide. Automatic first down, Sooners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Come on, Oklahoma. You gotta be able to put up a fight. You were great in the first quarter. You got your ass kicked in the second quarter and the third quarter. Find a way. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer going short middle to Deion Burks. Oh my, touchdown, Sooners. And just like that. And again, we know how good Deion Burks is. He already has a touchdown in this game and make that number 2. That's exactly what Oklahoma needed to get back in the game. Nice job there by John Mateer. Wow. 37-yard strike by John Mateer to Deion Burks. Extra point incoming, 27-23. Wow. Extra point is up and good. 27-24. Bama. What a game. And after Mateer got the job done, finally, they're in the fourth quarter. Now you're down by 3. And now we'll see if Ty Simpson can respond in an appropriate way here in the fourth quarter. Wow, what a game. Oklahoma fans finally getting into it. Nice job there by Deion Burks to get them back in the game. 2 tutties, and he might need to score a third for them to win. And that's Burks' first touchdown. The other one ended up going to the other receiver there, Centegna the third. 27-24, Bama. Shotgun set, Jam Miller rushing up the middle for a 1-yard gain. Jackson and Williams with the coverage. Second down and 9 at the Alabama 26. What a game. And I guess bringing 50 Cent out did give Oklahoma a little bit of a lift that they needed, even though it was more for Alabama. Now you got the band jumping up and down, crowd with a little bit more energy here in the fourth quarter, and it may come down to whoever has the ball last wins the game. No huddle, shotgun set. Ty Simpson complete deep right to Isaiah Horton. 36-yard pass completed. First down. Bama. Roll Tide. Move the chains. Nice job there by Ty Simpson. First down and 10 at the OU 38. Beautiful catch there by Isaiah Horton on the sideline. No huddle, shotgun set. Hand off to Jam Miller, rushing for no gain. Reggie Powers the third with the tackle for Oklahoma. Second down and 10 at the OU 37. About 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 27-24 Bama. Great game. Fantastic way to start off the college football playoff first round game. Yeah, definitely should have been a false start penalty. Trips left. Shotgun set for Ty Simpson. Audible at the line. Play clock winding down. A little flip. And nothing there. Lewis with the big tackle. See if the ball comes out. Ooh, ball is out. Wow. And Lewis recovered. Well, Alabama got incredibly lucky there after the fumble with their own recovery by Lewis. Third down and 11. No huddle, shotgun set. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big 9-yard loss. And now it's going to be fourth down and 20 at the OU 47. And that's exactly what Oklahoma needed. Wow. Now Oklahoma sparking a little bit of momentum here in the fourth quarter. See if they can get a field goal to tie or a touchdown to take the lead. What a game. This game definitely has delivered. And some. And Blake Dowd with the punt, 40 yards, and goes out of bounds to the Oklahoma 7. 3 sacks for each team so far here tonight. 10:57 left in the fourth quarter, 27-24 Bama, but Oklahoma is threatening. All right, John Mateer, this is your time. And we'll see if they end up going to Deion Burks again. That's his number one target. And again, if they get him to score twice, that could be the difference between winning this game or not. 1 TD so far. They may need one more. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, we're at 35 likes, 15 more to hit goal to get to 50. Let's get there, baby. And we're at 25 on the dono train, 75 to go. $10:57 left in the fourth quarter, 27-24, Bama in a fantastic opening game for the college football playoff in 2025. Gosh, so many fucking commercials. Shotgun set. John Mateer rushing right for a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9 at the OU 8. I definitely feel the college football playoff is going to be better than it was last year overall. Is there going to be a few blowouts? Of course, but as we get deeper into the college football playoff run, it should be some really close games. We've got about 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Bama hanging on to a 3-point lead. But Oklahoma is starting to get a little bit of momentum. No huddle, shotgun set. Torrey Blaylock rushing left for a 5-yard gain. Sav and Hubbard with the tackle. And it looks like we end up having a penalty there for false start by OU. That's going to bring the football back to the OU 8. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 9 with about 9:48 left in the fourth quarter. Self-inflicted wounds with, false starts. That's a killer. And again, Oklahoma getting the penalty on the false start, but Alabama on their big play, no flag comes out for that. So obviously a lot of frustration on that Oklahoma sideline. It's one guy to jump early to get the block and another guy to flinch, but, we'll see if they make up for that. No huddle, shotgun set, Mateer, incomplete short middle to Torrey Blaylock. And that's going to be 4th down and 9 at the OU 8, and now Oklahoma forced to punt. Great defense there by Bama with the bat down. Lawson with the good coverage there for Bama. All right, 4th down and 9. And Grayson Miller with the punt, 32 yards. 5-yard return there by Dejon Lee Jr. for Alabama. 1st down and 10 at the OU 35. Not exactly what you wanted there for Oklahoma. And if Alabama ends up scoring a touchdown and getting up by 10, this game could be over. Maybe too little too late for Oklahoma at that point. Got to hold Alabama to 3 or none. But that's going to be easier said than done. All right, time for Ty Simpson to get it going. Hill rushing up the middle for a 6-yard gain. Kendall Daniels, the linebacker for the Sooners, with the tackle. 2nd down and 4 at the OU 29, already getting close to field goal range, and a couple more first downs. They're going to be in the end zone. Crazy that OU was up 17-0 and now they're down 27-24, but there's still time for either team to kind of get the job done here. Eight minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 27-24, Bama. Fantastic first round playoff game here for college football in 2025. Man in motion on 2nd down and 4. 1-on-1. Wow! Are you kidding me? Bernard wrestling it away, but then the ball kind of flies out after the play is dead. Oh my. Simpson to Bernard, 24-yard pass, 1st and goal at the OU 5. How did he catch that? Look at the hands. He's actually pinning it against the helmet momentarily and then ripping it away. Unbelievable. Shotgun set and rushing left. No gain. Daniels there with the tackle on 2nd and goal. Wow. Amazing catch there. And they tried to go hurry up with Ty Simpson, but Oklahoma was not fooled. Unbelievable catch, man. And normally we see catches like that where they pin it, against the helmet, but he pinned it and then pulled it away. Unbelievable. And timeout, Alabama. I mean, if somehow, some way Oklahoma can force a turnover or hold the 3, they're going to have a shot. But Alabama definitely has had the momentum since the 2nd quarter, and they really haven't given it up. And Uncle Mo is a real thing, as we know. All right, Caleb DeBoer trying to figure out a good play here for his quarterback, Ty Simpson. 27-24 with 7:30 left in the fourth quarter. Miami and A&M at 9 a.m. Yes, please. Number 9, Alabama Crimson Tide, 10-3. Number 8, Oklahoma Sooners, 10-2. 17-0 lead for Oklahoma in the first quarter. 27 unanswered for Alabama, roughly. And now you're sitting at a 27-24 Alabama lead by 3 with 7:30 to go. When they scored 7 points in the SEC championship game and got blown out by Georgia, this is definitely, what we wanted to see. We didn't know if Alabama actually could do this, but again, hanging right there and being the better team since the 2nd quarter. But they have 7:30 to go to be able to finish it off. But I don't think either one of these teams has a chance against Indiana. But, again, winning a round and moving on is definitely what you want to do. You don't want to lose in the first game in the college football playoff. No doubt about that. Waiting for all these commercials to end. And it looks like that appearance by 50 Cent actually gave a little bit of a spark to both teams in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than, Oklahoma being up 24-0 or 24-3 at this point. So I'm happy that Bama showed up, but Oklahoma is in danger of losing this game after being up 17-0 in the first quarter. I don't know if anyone would have had that on their bingo card, even Alabama fans. Shotgun set, Hill rushing up the middle, touchdown, Bama. This one might be over. 33-24, extra point incoming, and with 7:24 left, the only way Oklahoma is going to be able to come back realistically is if they end up getting like a pick six or a fumble for a touchdown, on their end. And I don't know, you're running out of time. You're potentially going to be down by 10 points. Kind of feels like Alabama is going to win this game. I mean, unless you can have a miracle ending, and I don't really see a Seahawks-Rams ending here for Oklahoma, unfortunately. Nice job there by Daniel Hill with the touchdown. 33-24, Bama. Extra point is up and good. 34-24, Alabama up. Wow. All right, Ty Simpson, I see you. I mean, there was a reason you were a top 5 Heisman candidate earlier in the year. And in this 3-loss Alabama team is showing that they do belong in the college football playoff. It's not just because they're Alabama. They're actually, playing like they belong and they deserve the spot. Even though Notre Dame might have been more deserving, Alabama, with 3 losses, playing like a 2-loss team. (34-24) Bama. All right, Oklahoma, you got 7:24 left. You got to get a field goal and a touchdown. So, I mean, if you get into range, one or the other, and then you just got to hope that the defense is good enough and not fatigued that they can actually make a big stop on defense. And in the second half, even including the second quarter for that matter, they haven't really been able to do that well on that side of the football. Talty with the kickoff and fair caught by Jordan. First down and 10 at the OU 25 for John Mateer. And again, if you're going to be able to come back, you're going to have to end up going to this man right here. And he's going to have to get a quick touchdown and a deep touchdown from Mateer to Burks. All right, Mateer, show us. I mean, it's got to be a 2-minute drill the fucking rest of the way. 7:19 left in the fourth quarter. Alabama up by 10. No one saw that coming. Shotgun set, Mateer, incomplete. So Tegna the third there, the intended receiver. Second down and 10 at the OU 25. And Satania needs to get open. And that was almost intercepted by Bama. Keon Keeley was right there. Shotgun set, no huddle. Mateer, short left to Deion Burks, but only for 2 yards. Third down and 8 at the OU 27. Big third down here for John Mateer. About 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, down by 10. No room for error. And you got to be able to get the ball to Deion Burks if you have any chance of getting close in this game in the fourth. Sooner fans in disbelief. Third down and 8, shotgun set. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And that's going to turn into an 8-yard loss. This might be the nail in the coffin for the Sooner fans. Fourth down and 16 at the OU 19. And at this point, do you go for it? I mean, you kind of have to, right? You only have 5:55 left, and you're down by 10. So you just got to throw it up, and then hopefully Deion Burke makes the catch, and you can keep the drive going. Offensive line getting beat up for Oklahoma in the second half. Oh, wow, they punt. You're down by 10 with less than 6 minutes to go. I mean, this one's over. And we got a late flag on the return here. I don't think I've seen a bigger collapse in college football in a minute. 17-0 lead, and you're about to lose, potentially 34-24, 37-24, or maybe even 41-24, depending on if Bama and Ty Simpson can get another touchdown. But again, Alabama fans got to feel really good, not only that they made the college football playoff over Notre Dame, but they actually showed up today. Unbelievable. Winning a game on the road as well. And I kind of felt that there were going to be a few teams that were going to be able to win on the road compared to, obviously the teams that had the bye, last year where all of those teams lost, and again, if you look at the bracket, you got Texas Tech, Indiana, Georgia, and Ohio State. And you would assume that some of those teams are going to win, but there may be a few that will lose, especially with that extended time off. And Grayson Miller with the punt. Cole Adams with the return. And we got 5:55 left before Alabama wins this game. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Just too much Ty Simpson in the second quarter and beyond. And again, Mateer was great in the first quarter, but it's been all Bama the rest of the way. Roll Tide. And Alabama, may have been able to take care of John Mateer in Oklahoma, but you're going against Indiana next, and we know how good Indiana has been with Cignetti this year, Big Ten champs. But again, if Alabama plays like this against Indiana, I know they're not going to be able to put up 34 on Indiana's defense, but if you can end up having a good offense and defensive performance, and you play like this, you definitely will have a shot against Indiana. But again, we haven't seen too many teams get points, on the Hoosiers in 2025. Tony in the building. What's good? We got 5:55 left here in the fourth quarter. 34-24, Bama. No huddle, shotgun set. Daniel Hill rushing right for a 2-yard gain. Heineke with the tackle there for Oklahoma. Second down and 8 at the Alabama 32. Timeout, Oklahoma. I just don't see any kind of scenario of Oklahoma coming back. But it shows you, in college football and in anything else, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And a 17-0 lead for Oklahoma still wasn't enough to beat Bama here today. Yeah, and I don't know why Oklahoma is starting to burn their timeouts at this point, but and this is definitely the best performance out of a fucking 3-loss team in the college football playoff that we've ever seen. Notre Dame was more deserving than Alabama, but Alabama playing like a 2-loss team or a 1-loss team here tonight. Winner advances to face Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Shotgun set, Hill rushing up the middle for another 2-yard gain. 3rd down and 6 at the Alabama 34. And looks like they're going to give him 3 yards rather than 2. Kip Lewis from Oklahoma, the linebacker, with the tackle. 3rd down and 5 at the Alabama 35. And about 5 minutes and some change left here in the 4th quarter. Alabama up by 10. And timeout Bama, or timeout Oklahoma. .33 passing TDs. But if you compare that to like Joe Burrow's numbers, Fernando Mendoza, Burrow doubled, the passing TDs and the yards. So, again, a little bit easier of a path for Fernando Mendoza this year. My pup is in here. Shotgun set. And, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Loss of 11. And that's going to be 4th down and 16 at the Alabama 24. So Oklahoma gets the stop that they wanted, but still running out of time. Less than 5 minutes to go. And Blake Dowd with the punt, 39 yards. Fair caught by Centenia. 1st down and 10 at the OU 38. All right, too little, too late at this point, but we'll see if Oklahoma can put up another touchdown before this is over. Easier said than done. 1st down and 10 at the OU 38. 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma down by 10. Shotgun set. Mateer. Pass incomplete. Short right with pressure. 2nd down and 10 at the OU 38. Sit down, honey. Sit down. My pup came in here. She knows I'm almost done. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer, pass complete short middle to Jaron Kennick. 5-yard pass, 3rd down and 5 at the OU 43. About 4 minutes to go now in the 4th. Alabama up by 10 with a comfortable lead. Oklahoma in desperation mode. Big 3rd down and 5 here for Oklahoma. Even though we know the win percentage at this point has got to be like 98, 99% for Bama. And Centenia, and then the ball came loose. Is that ruled a catch and a fumble? And then a recovery by Bama? If so, this game is over. I mean, it already is over, but, officially over. And shotgun set. Catch and a fumble. Let's take a look to see if this is legit or not. I don't know if that's a complete pass. I mean, he has it for like a millisecond, and then the ball comes out. That might just be incomplete pass. Ruled incomplete. 4th down and 5 at the OU 43. Sooner fans with tears in their eyes. They can't believe that they're losing this game after being up 17-0 in the first quarter. But, you know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you got to give Alabama a hell of a lot of credit. Just been the better team since the second quarter and beyond. Not bad for a 3-loss team that didn't deserve to be in the college football playoff, huh? All right, last potential play for Oklahoma here, or one of the last. 4th down and 5 at the OU 43. And shotgun set, Mateer going deep left to Giovanni Gibson. Caught. First down. Sooners. 38-yard pass. Wow. No huddle, shotgun set. Mateer pass complete short middle to Torrey Blaylock. 4-yard pass, now with a little bit of momentum. 2nd down and 6 at the Alabama 15, and now they're knocking on the door for a score. Nice job there by Mateer with that big deep pass. Great yak yards after the play as well. No huddle, shotgun set, Mateer, and he is sacked. It's 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Lawson with the sack lunch. 3rd down and 9 at the Alabama 18. And as soon as they end up going for positive yards, they end up taking a sack and making it negative. About 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Alabama up by 10. Oklahoma knocking on the door. Deontay Lawson with that last sack. Timeout, Alabama. We got a big 3rd down and 9 incoming with about 3:02 left in the fourth quarter. All right, we'll see what Oklahoma and John Mateer have cooking. I mean, they definitely have a few receivers that they could get the ball to potentially get a little bit closer into the game here, like Burks, but it kind of feels like too little, too late, but we will see. No huddle, shotgun set, Mateer, incomplete short right, and hurried by Hill Green, and now that's going to be 4th down and 9 at the Alabama 18. I mean, especially to be up 17-0 in the first quarter and, you know, have Alabama, you know, score 34 after that. Pretty wild. And obviously the line of scrimmage has been won by Alabama, and that's why they're winning this game, period. O-line, D-line, defense coaching, play calling. And they decide to go for the field goal here. Made a 51-yard field goal in the first quarter. You don't see too many lefty kickers in college football anymore. Hell, even in the NFL. 36-yarder. Kick is up. And he missed it. And now it's officially over. Wow. I mean, the only chance that they had is the field goal, and then, you know, whether you go onside or whatever you decide to do. Even the fans can't believe it. That's normally automatic for Tate Sandell, and now it's over. 34-24, Bama ball, 2:53 left. I can't believe he missed that field goal. That's automatic for him. But again, it's nothing as automatic for kickers, I guess, nowadays. Even extra points get missed pretty frequently. So, and now Hill rushing up the middle for no gain for Alabama. 2nd down and 10 at the Alabama 20. I mean, even the Lou Groza winner can't make a field goal once in a while, huh? And timeout, Oklahoma. We'll see if Alabama can play like this against Indiana. Not very likely, but you never know. Yeah, crazy. I mean, it was kind of a tale of two halves, but really it was a tale of the first quarter dominated by Oklahoma, and then Alabama dominated the rest of the way, the second, the third, and the fourth. And for a 3-loss team, it's shocking. And on the road for that matter. It's not like the game is in Alabama's house, in Tuscaloosa. We're here in Norman. So Hill rushing left for 4 yards. And that's going to go in the opposite direction, a loss of 4. Heineke with the tackle. 3rd and 14 at the Alabama 16. Crimson tied up by 10 with less than 3 minutes to go. Yeah, it's a big win for Bama. Huge. Shotgun set, Ty Simpson pass complete to Ryan Williams. 3-yard pass, 4th down and 11 at the Alabama 19. And Simpson to Ryan Williams with a bobble and catch. 4th down and 9. And timeout, Alabama. (34-24) with 1:57 left in the fourth quarter. Bama about to pull off the upset. And Mateer was great in the first quarter, but it's just been all Alabama since the second quarter and beyond. 34-24 Alabama with 1:57 left before this one is officially over. We'll be live tomorrow at 4:30 Pacific for JMU and Oregon. And again, we'll be following the Packers and Bears as well around the same time. And then Sunday night, we'll end up doing the Patriots and the Ravens for Sunday Night Football for the stream. And then Monday will be the Niners and the Colts. So I'm really looking forward to a little bit more college football and NFL. And it's always nice to be able to have NFL on Saturday and Sunday, including Monday. I'm definitely going to be soaking that in as well. And again, another billion commercials. That's the only thing that, in college football games, the commercials are ridiculous. And then halftime, instead of being 12 minutes like the NFL, it ends up being like 20 to 25 minutes, which is a little ridiculous. But, it is what it is, I guess. All right, let's get this game completed. 1:57 left, 34-24 Alabama after Oklahoma started with a 17-point lead in the first quarter. It's been all Crimson Tide from the second quarter and beyond. And 34-24, up by 10. And we'll see what happens here on 4th down and 9. Oh, pooch punt. And Satania down the sideline and close to the 50-yard line. Just, too little, too late at this point for Oklahoma. So field goal, onside kick, and then we'll see. But again, even your kicker, ended up missing the last one. So, but you're down by 10, so you're going to have to go to him no matter what. Three wide receiver set for Mateer. Shotgun set. Bama only bringing 4. Check down. And a short gain there for the Sooners. Five-yard gain. 2nd down and 5 for Oklahoma. Shotgun set. Mateer. Little check down. And getting close to field goal range and out of bounds. Blaylock is there. 3rd down. First down and 10 after that catch. Shotgun set on 1st down and 10. And another check down throw. Clock still ticking. All right, they're killing the clock with the spike, and I assume the field goal kicker will come out. And again, if you can get the field goal, then it gets to 34-27, and then you just got to pray somehow, some way you get the onside kick, which is, almost impossible. But we'll see if Tate Sandell can first make a field goal and not have it go over the top of the crossbar, so it can be 34-27. Kick is up. And no good. Wow. 2 missed kicks by a Lou Groza winner. Just not long enough. Had obviously, the position correct, but just not enough oomph on that kick. And now Alabama can just pretty much kneel it and it's over. Oh, I guess when it rains, it pours, right? And you can't even do the things that you normally do on a regular basis, like make field goals. Tough day for Tate Sandell. Could have been 34-30. And a kneel down by Bama. Loss of 3 as the clock ticks down. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Hell of a game, especially being down 17-0. Not many teams could come back from that deficit. Congratulations to the Crimson Tide. You earned it. Next up is going to be a much tougher test. The Indiana Hoosiers. And that's going to be in the Rose Bowl. Not an easy place to play. And another kneel down, and it is over. Final score, Alabama Crimson Tide 34, Oklahoma Sooners 24. Appreciate all the people that came through to like, sub, donate, comment, share. Appreciate you. And shout out to Jolly and Megan with the Dono Train. Appreciate you as well. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, will be live tomorrow at 4:30 Pacific for James Madison versus the Oregon Ducks. Be here if you can. And then we will be doing Sunday Night Football, the Patriots and the Ravens, and then the Niners and Colts on Sunday night and Monday night. Hope to see you guys there. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.